We're live on the internet. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to D&D Self-Diceolation. My name's Tom, and I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight.
I wish I was a lesbian.
Hi, I'm Rich, and I'll be playing Bagerac, the Half-Orc Barbarian.
We've still got Em.
She's muted.
Lost them.
Sorry, I did say it. I was muted. Apologies. Hi, I'm Em, and I'll be playing Faix, the Changeling Blood Hunter.
Lacey's just joined us. Lacey, if you want to introduce yourself.
Of course, I'm Lacey, and I play Jamesy, Jameson, James the James, and Aarakocra Ranger.
Hi, I'm Oakley, and I'm playing Lours, the Kalashtar Druid.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm playing Magemak, a 1T Pureblood Warlock.
Hello, I'm Bell, and I'm playing Natasha Bardingfield, the Halfling Bard.
Hi, I'm Shawball, and I'm playing Relaxio, the anti-pureblood warlock.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I'm playing Shathar Strictalanis, the Dragonborn Artificer.
Excellent. So yes, welcome Jen, our new player this week. So for those of you listening on stream, we may have to just take things a little bit slowly at a couple of points, but we'll move along as easily as we can. So this adventure takes place about 2 weeks after the events last time on the Isle of Faix. The party first spent a week travelling by boat with the Tabaxi merchant known as Six Waves, and have now landed in the city of Waterdeep and had some time to pursue their own interests within the city. Bagerac settled into a tavern in one of the more rambunctious districts of the city for an extraordinary 6 days and nights of hedonistic excess, in which he miraculously won enough gold whilst gambling to cover his expenses for the entire week. Faye, on arriving in Waterdeep, sought out accommodation in one of the more wealthy city districts and began planning to rob the local nobility blind. Unfortunately, on the night of the planned heist, everything went wrong for her, and she was arrested and sentenced to 8 weeks in prison with a hefty fine. However, she was released the following day after the offended noble mysteriously requested that all charges be dropped. Having had her trusty quarterstaves confiscated as evidence, she swiped a pair of farming sickles from a passing cart and headed off back into the city. James, our Aarakocra Ranger, spent 2 days tracking and hunting game in the forests and countryside beyond the city walls before returning to Waterdeep with a plentiful supply of food. A local blacksmith was happy to take his rapiers in trade, as well as offering some additional gold for a pair of well-made short swords. James took his profit and spent his last 5 days relaxing in one of Waterdeep's more wealthy taverns. Lours, using some herbs he gathered on the Isle of Faix, attempted to concoct their own signature beverage on the boat ride home. The results were both intoxicating and dangerous, but neither refreshing nor palatable. And in an attempt to improve their alchemical skills, once in Waterdeep, Lours began to seek out a seller of an alchemy jug, putting him in contact with the Irregular Merchants Guild, an underground network for the sale of magical items. Through a breakdown in communication, however, the seller arrived carrying nothing more than healing potions. Our warlocks, Magemak and Relaxio, tried to fight the boredom on the boat ride home by teaching the party how to play Five Dragon Gambit, which is Magemak's favourite card game. Relaxio spent some time reading his Weatherstone and a full day hiding under his cloak, giggling at his own stealthiness. Once in Waterdeep, Magemak headed into the trade districts with his brother to take care of some shopping needs, first having his staff customised with green iridescent metal and a forged cobra head ornament, before purchasing some reagents and seeking out some new armour for both of them. The leatherworker took a particular shine to Magemak's pseudo-dragon familiar and made a tiny leather saddle for him. The brothers then sought out a quiet temple to meditate and commune with their deity. The ancient snake god Meshork was pleased with the recent offerings in battle and promised a reward, with both warlocks awaking a few days later to find their tongues had begun to separate and become more fork-like. Natasha, having finally returned to civilization, adopted her persona of the Duchess of Faix and spent her time socialising amongst the upper classes of Waterdeep. During her time, she made good friends of 2 of the noble houses, one of whom reported having their property broken into by a strange pale girl with blank eyes. Recognising the intruder as Faye, the halfling bard convinced their new friend that this was her handmaiden, lost after a night of heavy drinking and most likely confused as to their lodgings in an unfamiliar town. Believing this story, the noble agreed to drop the charges, provided that Faye still paid the fine for damages to the property. And that's where we pick up tonight. So, All of you have received a wax-sealed letter requesting your presence at the Sword and Board Inn in one of the more modest districts in Waterdeep. On arriving, you are escorted to a back room with 2 guards posted outside the door, both wearing dark leather uniforms with the same symbol as the seal on your letter. Inside, there is a large conference table with place names set for each of you. Refreshments are brought in. And you've got a few minutes just to catch up on the week events amongst yourselves.
I take my seat at the table. I glance at Faye. I glance back at my placard. I glance at Faye again. I just sit there.
Just let my seat at the table.
I
Looking
take my
awkwardly
seat at
at
the table.
everyone.
I'm just sort of looking a bit.
Start
cheeky.
drinking. Carry on, you know, as you mean to go on.
I swapped my place in with the one who was sat next to Magemak, so I am sat next to Magemak.
I bring my barrel of boat hooch in and start pouring from it.
You bring boat hooch into a bar.
Yep.
You've got to get rid of it.
Oh,
I made
can
this.
only-
I'm going to
can
use
only
this
end well.
somewhere.
He's missed
Well-
the point where I had to carry it for him for a while because he was too weak.
It's true, yeah.
Well, Lours, I will drink some of that.
This can definitely only end well. I just love it when you bring your own beverages.
I look excitedly at Relaxia to see what he thinks of it.
It's delicious.
It was
What do you
awesome.
think?
if I remember
Pour us a
correctly.
pint.
I mean, what do you think started off my week of excess party? It's free hooch, man.
I'll take a cup.
I'll take the barrel.
I'm not touching that stuff again.
It's an acquired taste, I'll grant you.
I wave over the table at Lours.
I
Just
pass.
waving at him.
I pass a cup to whoever wants it.
I'm still waving at Lours.
I'll wave back at Relaxia, who's slightly confused.
Okay. So after a few minutes of chatting amongst yourselves, a door at the back of the room opens, and in walks a very smartly dressed male halfling with a leather-bound folder, accompanied by a black-scaled female dragonborn with a crest of scarlet scales, and a mechanical bear about the size of a sort of large dog.
It's a sexy bear.
Is it an owl bear?
It's not an owl bear. It's definitely a bear. It may be sexy. And the dragonborn takes her seat at the table, bear next to her, and the halfling sits down at the head of the table, opens up the folder, puts on a pair of reading glasses and looks around at you and says, "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking your seats. My name is Chief Auditor Welby, and I represent the Waterdeep Board of Associated Businesses. I've called you all here today to offer you a contract. I trust that you are familiar with Rosewood Constructs. Now, for those of you who've been staying in the wealthier areas of Waterdeep, this is a name that comes familiar to you, as you've noticed that have been in the sort of more wealthy buildings, there have been these sort of mechanical, almost like service robots moving around. They also appear to be roughly the same construction. They've got the company emblem stamped on their chest. Welby continues, Rosewood Constructs own and operate the largest production, distribution, sale of autonomous constructs in Waterdeep. Their owner and CEO, Dominic Rosewood, has made himself incredibly popular and influential, particularly amongst the wealthier districts of the city in construction and service industries. At this point, we know that almost 80% of the businesses use his automatons. This represents a dangerous monopoly in itself, but it is not the reason we need your services. Our agents have uncovered plans for Rosewood to release a new model at their gala event this evening. We believe that this is a front for Rosewood to completely corner the market and potentially make a play for political control of the city as part of a plan he is referring to as Project Unity. We want you to infiltrate the gala event this evening, along with our chosen specialist, Artificer Shathas, points to the Dragonborn, and obtain what information you can on Project Unity. In return for supplying them with viable information, the board is willing to offer financial compensation to the sum of 200 gold pieces per operative involved. If you have any further questions, please go ahead and ask them now.
Do I have to wear my formal outfit?
Fortunately, we have arranged for formal attire to be provided. We have come into possession of an auto-tailor unit, which we have had our artificer work out the kinks from.
Not this again.
All of the kinks.
Do we have to wear pants?
I'm afraid that as a formal event, yes, it is pants mandatory, not optional.
Do I have to
Gonna be
wear a
happy
shirt?
If I
don't
get a
have shirt.
waistcoat the wrong way round on me again.
All of the kinks, though. All of them.
All of the kinks.
100%.
Artificer Shathas has spent the last week working and refining this unit. When we acquired it, it had some issues with regards to design and form, as well as language processing. Fortunately, we can say that we have spent a full day attempting to break the machine, and so far it's produced nothing but perfect results.
I bet you I could break it.
I'm sure you could.
Please don't
Do we
break
have-
it.
Do we have schematics of the gala?
Unfortunately, we don't have a specific floor plan. We do know that the main gala event is being held in the main hall of Rosewood Manor, and we believe that Dominic Rosewood is keeping any official documentation or notes inside his office located on the first floor. Now, in order to help you get in, we have managed to secure a set of blank invitations to the gala, so you would be able to attend as guests. However, it may be beneficial if you go under the guise of potentially an assumed identity or representing a fictitious company in order to sell your appearance at the event.
Are we likely to bump into the same nobles that Natasha and I have become familiar with over the past week?
The event is being attended by a number of members of the nobility who are more invested in industry. It will also be attended by a number of the official guilds and businesses within Waterdeep. Now, I can't confirm whether those will be representative of individuals that you have met during your time here. But, as I say, it is a gala event. They are less likely to be paying attention to specific individuals and more to their competitors.
I don't think I'll get away with making it. I'll just have to be sort of security, I believe.
Oh, but you will, my darling. Don't you understand? This is
No.
a job for the Duchess of Fosiduk and Company.
Yeah, I think me and Bagerac will just be sort of
Bodyguards.
security.
Oh, but you're my handmaiden, dear. I'm so sorry.
Yes, well.
If there are guild members there, I'm surely to be recognised for my outstanding work. Would this be an issue?
Well, I'm sure that they wouldn't be offended as a freelance guild member that you have sold your services to the Duchess here.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Does this mean I don't have to wear formal wear and I can just go as me?
It is still a formal event, but I'm certain that any attending security entourage will have a somewhat more business-like appearance in line with their particular line of
So they
work.
won't take my weapons.
Count me in. I love dressing up.
It might be good for like maybe the Warlocks and Lours perhaps to be like a separate company.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
agree.
thought.
Us all coming from one company seems suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh.
quite happy to do it. Me and Relaxio can.
Yeah,
Going together.
we're proper noble.
Are you gonna be? You two could be a brothers' company with your manservant.
I will call us Brothers Law.
Very well. I shall leave the invitations for you to fill out as you see fit, and we'll await your return here. The gala event will take place this evening, so you have some time to make final adjustments to your costumes with the auto-tailor. We will provide 2 carriages to escort you directly to the venue. The carriages will wait for you at the venue for you to leave and return. Are there any further questions?
Would you like a drink before you go?
I
have this. I pass the mug towards them.
Welby picks up the mug, takes a sort of cursory sniff of it, and
Just so I'm clear, this is purely a fact-finding
puts it
mission.
down. We would prefer if you could obtain some hard evidence as to this project. Obviously, if you return simply with word of mouth, it will be suspect and may potentially forfeit payment if it is not deemed viable information. Personally, I would advise that if you can obtain any documentation or any hard evidence, that would carry much more weight.
Does it matter if people see us?
They need to see us. We're going to be at the event.
As I say, the invitations will allow you relatively easy access to the event. Anyone attending with these invitations is unlikely to be questioned. Once inside, any activities you undertake in which might be suspicious should be done so with a great degree of caution. We have sent our own agents in previously. Unfortunately, they have all been caught and ejected from the premises, and then suffered a series of unfortunate accidents a few days later. And we believe that there may be leaks within the organisation that have tipped off Rosewood to the presence of our agents within his organisation.
Any such leak with us?
I have taken this entirely under my own initiative. The only people who know about this are yourselves and my 2 bodyguards on the door. Fortunately,
Working out at the moment.
we have no agents in the organisation at this time.
Do I trust what he's saying?
Insight check.
Just because I'm saying is, you know, like, the best way to not be seen is if someone sees me, he just disappears.
21.
This guy seems both genuine and businesslike. There is not a hint of deception. He almost seems like he's putting absolutely no effort into what he's saying. You get the impression this is straight up facts that you're being given.
Cool. I'm good with this.
I'm sure Faye agrees. You know, there's no one to tell if they're dead. So
I feel like violence might not be the way forward.
No, we must relax, for we have an evening to prepare.
Yes, well, it's always an option though if it comes to it.
So, what's the Birdman doing? Is he being security with me, or is he with the other company?
He's going to fly. Fly, my pretty.
James?
I'll take you as bodyguard if you're up for this. I feel your disguise would go much better as a bodyguard. A half-orc does not blend into high society well.
Like I say, I'm a bodyguard
for
for the Duchess. I meant the Aarakocra Birdman like fighter.
Yeah.
Similar
Ninja, how
problem.
dare you? But yeah, I can do that. That makes sense. Probably exotic enough that they'll pay attention as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you with us and the Duchess as security, or are you with the Mage brothers?
I'm gonna go with the Duchess, if only because I find the Mage brothers creepy.
Okay.
Offense intended.
It's okay, we don't lay eggs.
Do I have mail?
Which point Welby, sir.
Leak, so take that.
Welby.
How long have we got until this event?
Well, considering the time is now roughly noon, I would say you have about 5 hours before you would need to leave.
We better get ourselves suited up then.
I'll get my dress first.
Very good. The auto-tailor is through the door at the back and points to the door behind him that came through. At this point, Welby stands up, closes his folder, and says, "I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you tomorrow," and then takes his leave. So, you guys have got the auto-tailor to put you together formal attire befitting your needs. So in the case of Natasha, an evening dress, ball gown scenario. In the case of Bagerac, just like at least a shirt
jacket. No.
that doesn't look terrible.
Match, Bagerac, we should try and look similar, so we're kind of almost like in uniform.
The
and the Birdman.
The auto-tailor prints you out a sash in matching colours so that you represent the same noble house.
Is it pink?
Natasha, is the Duchess's colours pink?
Pink and mauve.
Oh,
Oh God.
that's gaudy.
I'll just put the ribbons in my hair, shall I?
The word you're looking for is majestic.
You're on our team, Lours.
All right.
So
I feel like the others will draw enough attention away.
So there's me, Faye, and the Jamesy Jameson, all dressed in black with mauve and pink sashes.
Essentially, yes. Your racial equivalent of black tie, but with a pink and mauve sash over the top.
Okay.
I'll be accompanying Natasha as myself, but as her expertise.
Yep, that's fine. So again, same sort of setup. Very elegant formal wear. Pink sash. It's part of the disguise. There's a little bow tie for your bear as well. In matching colours.
And I would like to match myself with Lours as the Lours brothers, or brothers Lours as I like to call us.
Yes.
How are you not the lawyers?
We are the brothers Lours.
Okay. So, Shathas, for yourself, you might be unfamiliar, the auto-tailor is essentially a magical, magic mechanical cupboard that will kind of 3D print any outfit that you request from it. The ones that the party had encountered previously were somewhat problematic, but thanks to your own skill and intervention, you've managed to get this one running spot on. So, over the next 5 hours, you guys are sorted out with your evening wear. You load up into the carriages and you're taken off through Waterdeep, going through to the sort of the more comfortable districts, then onto the more wealthy districts. Finally, you get to the very, very aristocratic districts where these houses are big and very spaced out. As you roll up to Rosewood Manor, you are presented with this very opulent 2-storey house, incredibly high class. It's got a big, large, open driveway, and there's this magnificent stained glass window on the front, depicting the Rosewood Company emblem, which is a shield with an apple tree on there bearing fruit. Light is spilling out of all of the ground floor windows and a few on the first story. As it's getting darker, one of the most noticeable light sources is there is a large green light on the top of a conical tower rising higher than the rest of the building. There's a line of carriages pulling up to the gate and dropping off guests. There's a banner over the entrance that reads Enchantment and Engineering Exposition Gala Night. There's guards on the door ready to check your invitations.
And so I take the front.
Got to say, you're gonna need to go in first, Natasha, as you're our
Well,
protector.
Certainly.
You need your handmaiden to help you down from the carriage, of course.
Of course, please, assist me. Oh dear handmaiden.
Faye kind of steps forward, looking really unhappy with this, and just helps you down from the
Oh,
carriage.
Thank you.
Just kind of sneers and takes a step back.
Here we are. Come along then. Spit spot, everybody. Remember, it's party time.
As you approach the
Leave this way, Duchess.
Certainly.
Obviously, we just follow the Duchess.
This is
As
just
security.
hedonism by future armor, isn't it?
Lours brothers, how is your entrance going?
I hand over the invitation and say, we are from the Brothers Lours. We are the writers of the fairy tales. Brothers Lours.
Oh, fantastic!
You
I've
may
only
have
just
heard of
realised.
us.
Thank you.
The guard kind of looks at you and just sort of they got the impression that they're kind of used to people boasting about their success at them. They just go, "Well, welcome to Rosewood Manor."
I didn't realise there we are authors of a book.
Excellent, good to know. Could I have your invitations, please?
Hands it over.
Hand mine over.
Check
Insight check. Is he impressed secretly?
Yep. Roll for insight.
16.
Yeah, this guy
Super impressed.
doesn't care. They're really just so done with this. So they take your invitations, check, add your name onto the list of attendees, and then hand the invitations back and goes, "Oh, Lours brothers, have a lovely evening. If you step inside, there are food and refreshments available."
Thank you. But just to let you know, we are the Brothers Lours, not Lours Brothers.
I'm terribly sorry, and they make a quick amendment on the clipboard. Your Highness the Duchess, how's your entrance going?
Why, yes, it's going splendidly. We walk in, bodyguards at the front.
You sure you're not
Myself-
getting your handmaiden to introduce yourself?
Don't push it.
So you get to the entrance,
Certainly,
bodyguards.
we are for the performance, and I believe there are favors to be owed.
You get to the door, and the guard on the entrance says, "Can I have your invitations, please?"
Invitations? Do you not know who I am? I am the Duchess of Faix.
I sort of half grab some crumpled invitations out of my pocket and hand them over.
Hand mine over.
So it takes the invitation off Shathas and just marks the name. Kind of frustratedly unfolds the crumpled invitations from Bagerac and checks the names and adds them to the list, and then hands the invitations back. Goes, "Thank you very much. If you'd like to step inside."
Certainly. Come along now. There are guests to see.
Waiting for Natasha to go full Mega Karen on some of these people.
Can you believe the riffraff they hire at these things? I am so over it.
Yes,
Where
it
is
seems
the
anyone can
management?
invite these days.
So as you step inside the main hall, there are numerous dignitaries and nobles mingling around, chatting to one another. And there are servants milling around with trays of food and drinks, just circling in this effortless ballet of supreme organisation. This is a very posh party. You notice around the room there are pedestals with these mechanical humanoid figures arranged on them, each one clearly designed for a different purpose. So there are larger, broader-shouldered frame units that are based on the tools they're holding and the little sort of note placard at the base for sort of more labour-intensive industries, so it's carpentry, mining, stonemasonry. And you've got others with a slightly more delicate and lithe appearance, dressed as sort of house staff. So you've got butlers, cleaners, stable keepers. The one sort of unifying element of all of them is they have this large chest plate with the rosewood emblem on it, and it's backlit by this sort of emerald glow. And each one of them is just kind of moving and just demonstrating what their functions are. So essentially, they're all set on demo mode at the moment. They're not really doing anything effective. They're just kind of showing, this is how I would lift heavy rocks. This is how I would serve drinks. This is how I would polish shoes. Leading away from the main door is this grand staircase, and on the landing there's a lectern, again with the rosewood emblem, and a large form draped in a silvered cloth, and there are two very serious looking house staff standing guard on either side. And as you as you wander in, you hear one of the sort of attendants go, "Mr. Rosewood will be speaking in a few minutes. Please help yourself to refreshments."
Certainly.
I'm going to sort of whisper to Bagerac. I was like, don't get drunk.
Oh.
I go and
Can
take
I-
a drink.
I, on the other hand, going to gather drink.
I'll move
Before
over
you
to
take a
Lours and
drink,
ask.
Can I have a look at what's in the glass?
What's where? Sorry.
Can I have a look at what's in the drink before we have anything? Before I drink anything.
Yeah, certainly. Just make me a straight wisdom check, please. So roll a d20, add your wisdom modifier. This hasn't got any specific skill associated with it.
I beckon Bagerac to get on his knees to talk to me.
6.
6. It's definitely some sort of wine.
Sounds good.
I
Yeah,
move
I'm
towards Lours
and I-
and ask if he has any more of his boat hooch.
I reluctantly kneel.
I whisper
I
into
left it in the
Bagerac's
bar.
ear. If we get through, I will steal the boat hooch for you. Oh, Bagerac, stop! You're being unreasonable here. This
just
is a
grin and
party,
stand
don't
up.
you know?
I have one bottle of the boat hooch on me.
Yeah.
Just a travel bottle concealed in your coat. Okay.
Yeah, I left the rest in whatever bar the sword and board in.
I'm
Can
gonna
I
be
look-
sort of, looking around the room just to see if I can see any weird goings on, any whispered conversations.
Make me a perception check, please.
I was going to say, Tom, could I look around the room for potential exits and whatever other doorways to different things, since with security, so that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah,
Keep giving
certainly.
that
Make me a investigation check, please, Bagerac. Faye, what did you get for your perception?
I got 11.
That one. Two.
Okay. Fortunately, the nobility are not known for discretion when it comes to public events, so you can very easily make out the individuals in the room. You don't see anyone that you recognise. You don't really see anything suspicious. There's the odd couple of groups where they're just sort of chatting amongst themselves. You pick up little snippets of conversations, just one of them going, "Oh yes, I do like these events, especially when they're invitation only. It really helps to keep the riffraff out." Another one is just going, "Oh, apparently this new product that Dominic's bringing out is going to be a new line of constructs. I mean, we don't really need a new line. The ones that we've got work absolutely fine." And there's another one coming in going, "No, this is going to be revolutionary. It's going to change everything." Bagerac, your visual pat down, how'd that go?
Yeah, I got a nat one.
Can I assist with the visual pat down and sort of think things out that he may have?
You can certainly make a separate investigation check. Yep.
I basically realise I'm in a room.
Yeah, you look around. You
How
can.
did I get here?
So you look around the room, and you're immediately distracted by a plate of tiny steaks just wandering past. And you swipe up half dozen of those and just start stuffing them down your face. James, James, what did you get for your inspection of the premises?
I did slightly better. I got 16.
16. Okay, so
Yeah, only a little bit better.
you can see that from this main hall there are two doors going off on opposite sides, sort of to the left and right of the door you came in through. The one swings open every so often, and you can see that it clearly leads to the kitchen. There's the occasional billow of steam coming out and general smells of food. The one on the other side just has a guy standing on duty next to it. There's a velvet rope going across on there, and it just
wire going into his ear.
yeah, he's got like a little bit of wire sticking out of his ear because he didn't check before he came to work. But there's just a little velvet roped area. You've got the main staircase leading up in front of you, and you've got the landing that goes to, and then it splits two ways, again off to the left and right.
Okay. I see it. I think we've got two options. We either have someone make a scene, sneak in through that velvet rope, or we try and get Natasha to get us invited in.
I could make a scene.
I'm sure you
yeah.
Can I send Atticus the pseudo dragon in to sneak past?
Sneak past where specifically?
Where they're going. I was half like not listening.
Outrageous. There's a roped off area. Velvet rope.
Unbelievable.
I'm thinking of trying to get invited either in there, making a scene and sneaking in, or you can use your familiar to try and sneak.
Oh yeah. See?
Are we anywhere near these guys, by the way? Because we're in two groups, aren't we? So
You guys would have entered at the same time, so
we
you
don't
sort
know
of
what they're planning.
you like the sort of fake head representatives will probably not be able to talk to each other, but the guys sort of surrounding them would be able to speak to one another. So really, sort of Natasha and Lours would probably be out of communication.
Okay.
I could argue with the Lours' security over something and make a scene.
And maybe then me and Jamesy could sneak off.
I'm pretty good at stealthing. So I don't roll like a moron.
I will
Wow.
roll like a moron.
I can help get us upstairs. I can help us be a lot stealthier than we are.
It's either that or like we could try and send in the little trouser snake and
Fuck's sake.
and
It's a pseudo dragon. It's not a trouser snake.
Yeah, the trouser snake. We could send that in, and I could do beast sense on it and stand in the corner and see what it sees and stuff.
Natasha could
Right.
have a pretty good fight with the
I'd do
Lord's
that
brothers,
anyway.
I reckon.
I'm wondering whether we try the diplomatic approach first, and if that doesn't work, then we just get to start a fight with someone.
I like fighting.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that looks particularly important that would be worth me talking to in this room?
Oh, all of these people believe they're very important. You got that sense the minute you walked in.
Well, I got that.
Is there
Do
anyone,
I have to do like an insight check? See if there's anybody I should
is there anyone
talk to in
standing
particular.
around?
Make me an investigation check, please, Natasha.
Okay.
Is there anyone who looks like everyone's trying to look important? Is there anyone there who's looking a bit more? Oh, he's probably got it.
18.
18. So, a lot of these people are nobility and heads of industry, heads of businesses. So a lot of them are sort of projecting this air of importance and wealth. The one person that you see who doesn't appear to be really trying that hard to... the one person you see who's not really trying that hard to put on a show is in sort of like red and gold military uniform. And you recognise the insignia on their uniform as being a member of the Griffin Cavalry.
Okay.
Is there any relation to my own military background there?
History check, please.
Also, are any of my friends that I made during my carousing here?
Based on your role, you see one of them who is head of their family. They're fairly new money from what you understand. Their family currently is holds a controlling interest in the Dung Sweepers Guild, who are basically the like street cleaners for the city.
Ah.
Is Magemak naked?
No, Magemak is not.
Okay. I rolled an 18, Tom.
Okay, and sorry, what was that they were looking for again? I got distracted.
History check.
History check.
on the Griffin military.
Okay. You are familiar with the Griffin Cavalry as they are one of the rare mounted divisions that use griffins as mounts. So they're actually an aerial mounted cavalry division. Your people have had dealings with them in the past, obviously having similar combat tactics and styles. You remember that there is sort of one story from around about the time of the Cataclysm where both the Griffin Cavalry and the Aarakocra led a raid, an aerial dawn raid. That's it's one that the kids are taught about in school. It's that famous.
Okay, so we're on good terms, is what I'm taking from this.
Yes, yeah. The members of Griffin Cavalry hold the Aarakocra in a very sort of high regard.
Wonderful. I'll go over and have a conversation with this chap.
Is it worth James going with you if he might be able to like relate to them?
Well, yes.
While they're doing that, I'm going to go across the room and scatter around near the
Okay. So you go over to the cavalry commander. It's a half elf, male half elf, with sort of mousy brown hair and a little bit of a tight trimmed goatee. And they notice Natasha approaching and immediately sort of give a cursory bow in deference to what they perceive as obvious royalty.
And of course, I give the natural curtsy.
I stick close to the Duchess.
And say,
What a splendid evening.
this certainly is a impressive party. I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met. I am Commander Storm Talon, head of the Griffin Cavalry Division.
I am Natasha, Duchess of Faix.
Duchess. Well,
Why, yes,
I don't believe I'm familiar with your sovereignty, but welcome to Waterdeep.
Why, thank you. It is my first time here.
Might I ask, what is your interest in Mr. Rosewood's presentation this evening?
Well, the Duke could not attend, and so I'm here looking at trinkets, tailor bots for the house, for the manor.
I understand.
It's very boring and tiresome.
Yes, unfortunately, it is one of my duties as a member of the officer class is to attend such functions to see what possible military application these devices might have. And as you start talking, you hear this sort of ripple of applause start building through the room, and it gets louder and louder. And you notice that all eyes are now looking up at the podium at the top of the stairs. As you turn, you see a fairly slim human in a very high-collared jacket stepping out into the lectern, sort of quite graciously accepting the applause, and then just holding their hands up. And through various murmur of conversation, you realise that this is Dominic Rosewood. He stops and touches a little amulet around his neck that glows green, as suddenly his voice is amplified through the room. And he says, "Good evening, my fellow Waterdavians, friends and members of the Rosewood family. Welcome to tonight's gala. When my father first started this company, he had a single driving ideal, that every job requires the right tools. We here at Rosewood Constructs have strived to provide a range of the best tools for our customers. Tonight, we are launching a new product which will revolutionize the field of autonomous labor in a way not seen since the launch of our original line, combining all of the functions of our previous constructs into one universal product we call Unity. And as he says that, the silvered curtain falls away to reveal this very tall, very sleek-looking construct. It resembles a suit of armour made entirely of gleaming silver and brass. The chest plate features the same emerald-illuminated rosewood emblem, and it's got a sort of T-shaped visor on it that shares the same verdant green glow coming through. Unity can perform the functions of any of our previous models with improvements in operational strength, dexterity, and logical problem solving. Unity also features our new self-repair and diagnostic functions to reduce ongoing maintenance costs. Adaptive internal mechanics means that Unity comes equipped with every artisan tool we could think of, as well as being future upgradable to allow new tools to be easily installed and integrated into its use. We'll be demonstrating Unity's functions and capabilities throughout the night in the courtyards outside. What's more, we will be giving everyone here their own Unity when you leave tonight. And we will be taking orders for our first production run immediately. For now, please enjoy yourselves as we welcome the future. Welcome, Unity. And there's this huge round of applause, this big black banner unfurls behind the Unity model on the stage to just reveal a slogan that says in white text, Unity, every job, one tool. And the crowd is just going berserk at this point and clapping. And Dominic's sort of quite deferential.
And ask him what the writing says. What does it say?
Do I know what the writing says?
Yes, yeah, you can. It's written in common. It's just Bagerac's quite dim. It says Unity, every job, one tool.
It says, "We hate you, Bagerac. You're a tool."
Okay.
I join the applause, like selling the performance of marvelous, 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 marvelous.
I send a telepathic message to Natasha to say, if you're going to get one of your guys to do something, now might be a good chance to try Plan A.
They was diplomatically walk in.
Exactly, stealthily.
At this point, Dominic is sort of starting to come down the stairs and mingle with some of the guests that he's got there. He's just sort of shaking hands and chatting.
To the front of the crowd and say to him, "The Duchess wishes to speak with you."
And Natasha, get your tits out.
At which point,
The lady does not do such things.
Dominic turns to you and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. The which Duchess? I invited quite a few."
I'm down
She's
here.
just here.
Oh, Your Highness, how good to see you again. And they're looking at you.
Aloneness, but that's fine, dear. Don't worry.
Kind of.
I'm absolutely fine. How are you?
Kind of looking at you, just a little bit confused. I'm fine. How are you finding the party?
Just marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. We wanted to see if we could have a conversation about a rather large order for these. What was it? Unity bots?
Yes, yeah, the Unity product line. Well, we will be running some demonstrations, as I say, outside in the courtyard. But if you'll excuse me, I do have just a few minor matters of business to take care of. Please excuse me. And he starts to make his way across.
My hand on his shoulder. I go, no, with like a closer inspection.
As you do that, he turns and goes, "There'll be plenty of time to assess the product outside, but for now I would prefer that you remove your hand."
I try to sneak my pseudo-dragon into his pocket.
Make me a stealth check.
This would be sick if this works out.
Yeah.
Stealth snake.
Go trouser snake.
Nobody expects
Stealth.
the trouser stick.
Yep, stealth check, please.
Hmm?
What did you get?
He attacked.
Because I asked a question and no one responded.
Oh, exclamation C.
So thank you.
I didn't hear what you say.
No, I'll be here with
I
stealth.
didn't hear anything either.
Oh.
Go!
20.
Damn.
What did you get? 20. Yeah, so whilst he's distracted at the milder front that he's taken from Shathas touching him, you manage to successfully sneak Atticus onto him. And as he sort of moves away, kind of just gently pushing Shathas' hand off his shoulder, he makes his way over towards the velvet roped door. And the guard pulls back the rope, opens the door, and lets him in.
Some sauce.
I smile at Magemak and move back across the room.
I just start walking off.
I just carry on
Walking
drinking.
back
so I
towards
don't
go
think
and
I have
get-
any idea.
Is the cavalry commander still about, or is he?
He's kind of just like looking at one of the older models. Quite a few of the guests have now moved outside to go and see the Unity constructs being demonstrated.
Okay. So is he out of talking reach? Is that what you're?
No, you could quite easily wander up and talk to him. He's still just, like I say, he's still in the main hall. He's just looking at one of the older models, kind of wistfully.
And what did you think of that performance?
Well,
He got a loan off his dad for a couple million.
Well, the Rosewoods have been in business for certainly the last 2 generations, but so if we'd have had a few of these on hand, we wouldn't have had to send so many of the new recruits to go and clean out the griffin pens.
Can I have a look around the room, see how much security's there?
Yeah, so it's fairly obvious now that there's still security on the door. There's still the 2 guards next to the Unity model on the stage. There's one sort of just standing next to the kitchen doors just to make sure no one goes in there who's not supposed to.
In that case, could I try and slice some of the silverware away?
Yeah. You can certainly try. The kind of silverware you'd be looking at trying to get hold of at this point would represent mainly large candle holders. All of the food and stuff was just served on like finger food.
Walks out with a candle.
But yeah, certainly. Make me a stealth sleight of hand check, please.
Right, I ain't going to a fancy place and then not like trying to rob the place, would you?
Of course not. Why would you not go to a fancy party and not steal everything that's not bolted down?
10.
Oh,
I'd have a go,
God.
but I'd be put in jail.
You go to as you go to pick up one of the candle holders. The guard next to the door coughs very loudly at you, catches your eye, and just sort of shakes his head.
No, put it back down.
Okay, Magemak, are you doing anything with your secret pseudo dragon bugging device?
I was gonna take a seat, and use the like telepathy effect that I have with him that allows me to see and hear. Obviously, it makes me blind.
Okay.
And deaf in general.
So as you take a seat and start casting your sort of binding of your sight and hearing to Ascus, you are aware that he's managed to kind of find a point just on like the hem of his jacket that's already got sort of like a fairly fancy like weight to it, and hops off without being noticed. As he looks around, he can see that there is the room that they're in. It's like a side parlour. So there's like a big sort of almost like French doors leading outside, and there's a set of steps at the back leading upstairs. And Dominic has kind of walked into the room, gone over to the staircase, and wandered straight up. Ascus has remained in the parlour room because you reckon if he goes any further, you won't be able to see or hear anything.
How far away is he from me? Well, how far away?
He's not that far away, but you get the impression that something to do with the building materials is interfering with the signal. So even though he is effectively one room away, you're only really separated by a single wall. You're still struggling to maintain. Like the vision keeps blurring in and out of focus, and the hearing is kind of like waving in, like just washing in and out.
Yeah.
On there.
It's a magically sealed room by the sounds of it.
So if I can, at this point, is there anything else that Atticus can see that's sort of out of the ordinary?
No, it just appears to be like I said, it's a side sort of parlour room. It's almost like a dining area. So there's just a long table, set with chairs. There's some cutlery set at the one end.
I suppose Bagerac will want that. Okay, if he's not going any further, then can I just get my familiar to come back to me at this point?
Yeah, you can certainly just like teleport, just pop it in and out of a pocket dimension to recall this.
Yeah, I'll just recall him from here then. And
Okay,
then
so
the guys know what I've seen and that what we can do. Not obviously there's a staircase behind it. That's where he's got up to. We can't go I can't go any further than that at the moment.
So it sounds like that's the room we need to get into to get our answers.
So am I causing a distraction then?
Seems like
is anyone else looking like they are able to pass through? Have we seen anyone else move behind it, or just
the only person that you've seen go into that room is Dominic.
strike up a conversation with that? Sorry, the Griffin chap. What did he say his name was?
His name is Commander Stormtalon. I might have given him a different name, but I forgot.
We'll try and have a chat with him and tell him that I am from the Star Mount, and I actually.
I was just going to call him Falstad.
I'm just trying to think how to word it.
So you're introducing yourself as a Starmount clan Aarakocra.
Yeah.
As soon as you mention the word Starmount, his entire expression changes, and he looks at you like, "Really? Well."
I was a captain with Clan Rito, one of the Connaissance and Pathfinders.
Really? I believe we've worked with them in the past. Your soldiers have always been exceptional forward scouts, and might I say personally, it's an honour to meet one of you. We've not had any contact really since the wars.
I must confess, I personally don't hold much stock with the Lowlanders, but our regiment was renowned for its bravery and fighting ability.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from someone such as yourself. Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, I'm only really here to view on how Lowlanders move around. So I've taken on a bit of a job with this sane Duchess.
Yes, I believe I met her before the speech. Eccentric.
Still here.
And with exceptional hearing, might I say.
Yeah, it's surprising that she can hear me from across the room, even though I walked off. But, we're basically, since we've been a bit isolationist, I need down here to see what the rest of the world is like and to see whether it's worthwhile living in the circles. And I was wondering if you'd be able to tell me, you know, about this Dominic bloke. I must confess, I'm not an engineer. I'm not a big thinker, and he strikes me as someone who's a bit of a plan up his sleeve.
Well, Rose would certainly got his fingers in a fair few pies. He supplies constructs to most of the businesses. As far as industry goes, he's one of the champions. He's up there with quite a few of the larger businesses in Waterdeep.
Has there ever been any juice of what he produces? We,
No.
for instance, used them as part of our military. There's never been any sort of any way that they can in some way be used to spy.
Not that we're aware of.
Maybe.
As so, the constructs that he's produced, they've always been essentially input only. They've been fairly simple from what I've seen. You tell them to do a job, they do the job.
The Unity you made sound like the sort of a new generation of constructs that revolutionised the world.
Well, yeah,
Say,
certainly seems
sounds
impressive,
too good
but a lot of this is, I've got to be honest, beyond me.
well,
I'm really here more as a
I think
formality
seems-
than anything else.
it-
At this
that's what it
point,
seems it usually is.
Bagerac, you've noticed that the guard next to the velvet rope has stepped away.
Run in now.
Launch me!
I was going to say.
Launch
I slightly stand in front of the way so Natasha can sneak in behind me, obscuring vision.
Oh,
Surely
yes.
Natasha's quite recognisable. Like people might notice she's gone.
Thanks for
She's like a
volunteering.
big person.
No, she's only a halfling.
I also have naturally stealthy. I can attempt to hide even when I am
This is true.
obscured.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering
Okay,
that the
okay,
majority of the guests are at least, I'd say, from an objective viewpoint, a size bigger than you, you can certainly move stealthily past them. Make me a stealth check, please.
Certainly.
Would he have advantage since I'm obscuring?
He would have advantage, but it's also a very busy party, so you kind of gain and lose advantage at the same time.
Well, shit.
What'd you
10.
get? 10.
Oh god.
Fortunately, you managed to sneak into the room without anyone noticing. Yeah.
Wow.
Once you're in there, you notice that the sort of French door leading outside is already slightly ajar. But there is no one
That's
else.
really suspicious,
room.
that.
Can I try and sneak in after him? Or her, sorry.
Yep, make me a stealth check. Just see how long this guard's going to be away for. Make it quick.
To stay at the
8.
at the door to make it look like you're part of the security there.
So, Bagerac, you kind of go to poke your head in, but you get caught a little bit on the velvet
Guard
rope.
coming
You
back.
just sort of clatter it against the door. The
Great.
guard wanders over and goes, sorry, buddy, can I help you?
Oh.
I was just looking for some more food.
Kitchen's over that way, and servants will be around with more food. Look, there's 2 of them over there. He points to 2 servants that have just emerged with like platters of just tiny little like cups of roasted soup.
Sorry, I'll just walk off.
The roasted soup.
So in this, so I'm in the parlor room that the trouser snake was in.
Yep.
The trouser spy snake.
Yep.
So I can't see anything suspicious, like that the snake failed to find, or
No, you see exactly the same
Nope.
scenario.
just that the French door is slightly open.
That's it.
So I creep over her as best as I can, doing my best Ace Ventura stealth impression in this dress. And I peek through the thin crack that has been opened in these French doors.
So as you look through, you can see round to the front of the house, and there's a huge crowd just watching one of these Unity models, and it's basically reassembling a cart in front of these people. But there is clearly there's a big distraction going on there out the front. You could almost suggest that you might be able to sneak an entire, 8 people around the side of the building and back in through that door.
Oh. Well then, guess what I'm going to suggest?
That we should all go through the parlour.
Guys!
What?
Is somebody here saw it?
Got
Can
some
we,
here!
can we
I think
actually
Natasha's
hear
got stuck or something.
Alright, be
She's
right.
having a mare.
Am I stuck or am I...
So from where you are, you've like cracked the door a little bit, and you can just see that the guard is standing right in front of the door. basically, like with his back to you.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Can I? Can
Did
I?
I see her leave?
You would have
Would I
noticed.
have
You would have
seen her
noticed
leave?
them. You would have noticed them
Okay.
leave. Yeah.
Alright.
As I'd be,
Can I wrap their ankles in like a rugby tackle?
I was going to say because I'm already.
You could
with the
certainly
out-
Surprise!
try, but that would definitely bring up a.
I'm going to
that's the
say
aggressive
because
action.
I'm already probably looking out for the door reopening as I fucked up getting in. I tried to distract the guard by asking him a stupid question again, like, where's the nearest toilet?
Well, there's.
And then accidentally trip over into him and knock him against the wall.
Yeah. So, just make me a strength check, please, Bagerac.
Yeah.
Essentially, I want to
God.
determine whether or not you kill this guy.
23.
He did.
So,
Yeah, come back.
you manage to, in your sort of playful little kind of shoving buddies kind of way, you manage to barrel this guy through the door onto the floor and hit him so hard he's out cold. The rest of you all notice this and rush over to take a look. So now you're all in this side parlour, door secured, with an unconscious guard on the floor.
Shall I take his form and stand watch at the door?
You can do, yes, yeah.
I
Ooh.
think that's a good idea.
Could
Actually.
I tie the guard up?
Take his clothes.
Yeah,
first,
take his
Sure.
clothes off
Okay.
him for
Okay.
me. And
So,
I'll-
Bagerac ties up the guard and manages to stow him in a nearby cupboard. Faye has taken on the appearance of the guard and is now standing watch at the door.
Mhm.
I will just check the guard's okay and not dead.
Make me a
or
medicine check,
severely
please.
injured.
Look, I accidentally tripped over him.
20.
20. Yeah, he is fine. He's just out cold. He's making like little bubbling noises in his sleep.
I will leave him.
That's the sign
So-
that someone's okay when they're unconscious, going. Bloop, 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 bloop.
The universal sign of
I mean, it's, not like
pain.
they're, it's not like they're drowning.
Cool.
Anyone would think I'm heavy or something.
You
So
have
what-
put on a few pounds.
So, team
It's
team
like
party
quarantine.
team party stealth. What are you up to?
We're gonna follow Rosewood, I think.
Okay.
There's got to be the other way, right?
Yeah. So the only
Nor
the only
do
ways
we.
in and out of this room are the door that you've just KO'd a guard through, the French doors leading outside, and the stairs going upstairs. So if you follow,
Stairs for me.
Isn't it? I'll follow Natasha.
okay,
I think
As
we're
As
probably
you-
following
together.
well.
go up the stairs. Faye, are you still standing on guard at the door?
I'm going to stand at the door, yeah.
So, as you travel upstairs, you come into what appears to be Rosewood's office. It's very well furnished, very expensive oak furniture. It's illuminated by drift globes, which are like these little floating lanterns, which generally, it's a sign you got money. There's a lit fireplace on the right-hand side as you come in, with an obnoxiously large painting of Dominic hanging over it. The left-hand wall is just a large bookshelf, various books, sort of little awards on there, little miniatures of various prototypes for the construct line. There's a large desk in front of this very ornate stained glass window, the same stained glass window that you'd seen from outside with the Rosewood emblem on it. Also in the room, you've got a couple of the older prototype constructs. You've got a larger, sort of burlier looking construction model, and then two smaller, sort of human-sized models. One of whom's holding a hammer, one of whom's holding a wrench, and they've got little plaques underneath, sort of indicating these were like the first line of units that the company produced.
And no Dominic.
No Dominic.
I try to check his desk.
Cool. Make me an investigation check, please.
Right, I don't know why I'm the one doing this. Right.
It's a static desk, so basically anything but just
20.
Flop it.
Fuck off,
Fantastic.
Nice.
You don't find anything.
So,
Big
On the
stuff.
desk, you find a folder that's just listed Unity launch events. And as you go through, it's you can't read very well, but it doesn't appear to contain
Could
a
show
lot
it
of
to
words.
Natasha though.
Yeah, certainly. Natasha, you read through it, and it is literally it's just like an itinerary and plans for the gala event this evening.
Okay.
Underneath
there
the
anything that's
desk,
sort of-
you find 3 levers, almost like pull handles underneath the desk.
I'll point them out to the rest of the party. What's this?
They appear to be levers.
Well, they're levers, them. That's reet suspicious there.
Try pulling them.
Oh!
If you pull them, they're going to come off their hinges.
Okay.
So,
Shall I go right or left?
which one are you going for first? You got right, left, and centre.
Right or
Yeah.
left?
What do we want
Let's
to try?
go!
I'll pull try on the left lever then.
Okay. As you do, you hear a click, and the painting over the fireplace swings forward slightly.
Oh, go have a look.
Behind that, you can see that there is a little cubby hole. In there, you find 2 potions of healing, a pouch of gold, and a couple of the little miniature prototype figures.
I'll take the health potions.
Okay.
Can I take the
Can I-
prototype figures?
Yeah, certainly. There isn't a specific item for that. I'll add it onto your inventory in a bit.
Can I pull the middle lever?
Yeah, you pull the middle lever, and there's a couple of clicks and whirs from the desk, but nothing happens.
So I guess it must be this send one.
As you pull the last lever, you hear again the clicking, the whirring, and part of the bookcase pulls back and slides across to the side to reveal a passageway.
That's very cool.
At the same time, the 3 constructs in the room suddenly start twitching, and the green light appears behind the emblem in the chest as they start to come to life. I'm going to need everyone to roll for initiative, please.
Hey.
Oi!
That's
Do
right.
I need to?
Are we all of us?
Everyone, yeah, because you're all in the room, with the exception of
Oh,
Faye,
fine.
who's
All
still
of it.
downstairs.
Yes.
Smashed it as always.
So I take it I take it I just pocketed the 2 health potions then.
Yes, yeah, I've just added 2 health potions to your inventory.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll do it now. My initiative is 5.
I got 20.
20.
Okay,
I rolled.
give me...
I rolled in the general chat.
That's-
Sit.
Fine, let me just go through the list then. So, Bagerac, what did you get?
5.
5.
Unlucky.
Faye, we'll say you got 1, so you go at the end of the round.
That was probably about right.
Just basically just to indicate that you kind of hear something going
Running
on
in the lamp.
upstairs and turn up late to the party.
Cool.
Um,
Gotta go to the loo quickly.
That's right. Okay, 2 seconds, just to make sure I've got my listing down right. So, hang on. That's not gone through correctly. Sorry, so Badrak, what was your initiative?
5.
Yeah. Okay. Next on the list. James, what did you get?
10.
10 was that, sorry. Broke up a little bit. Cool. Next up, we've got... roll down the list. Lours, what did you get?
Natural 20.
Ooh,
Oh, 21.
tidy. Magemak, what did you get?
5.
5.
Hold on, was it 5? No, it was 6. Sorry.
You got 6.
I was
Cool.
on the screen and then forgot.
Relaxio, what did you get?
I rolled a 20, sir.
Ooh, nice. That's
Yeah, boy.
20. Shathas?
I rolled a 19, but it's +1, so 20.
Cool. Thank you very much. And finally, Natasha, what did you guess?
10.
10. Fantastic.
Not happy about it.
That's a problem when you're an aristocrat.
The dress slowed you down.
That's it.
Cool. So, just double check I've got everyone in. Beautiful. Right. So, first up then, we've got Lours. Relaxio, you're on deck. Lours, what are you doing? You've got 3 of these constructs in front of you. This sort of very big, burly, heavy-duty looking one. And then the 2 smaller ones, one carrying a wrench, one carrying a hammer.
Do I think that they're hostile? Are they looking
They've
like they're going to do
twitched to
anything
life
or
and they've
just
stepped
run
down
through?
from their pedestals, moving towards you.
I will just cast Magic Stone to get my weapons ready, and then
Okay.
I will take a couple of steps back as much as I can away from these things because I'm not sure. I don't
That's
want
fine.
to attack
So,
them yet. 'Cause I don't know what they're doing.
you guys are sort of gathered around the desk, and these things are probably about 20 feet away from you. It's a big office.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will stand where I am, and I will just cast my Magic Stone to prepare the stones, but I'm not going to actually attack them.
Okay, cool. So there aren't any like obvious stones in the office, but he's got one of those like bowls on the desk with like decorative pebbles. So you just pick up a handful of those, and start charging them with magical energy. Okay. Next up, then we've got Relaxio. Shathas, you're on deck. So Relaxio, what are you doing?
I cast Armor of Agathis.
Yep.
And then I shall move to the hammer wielding.
Yep.
Construct. And I shall end my turn there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so you reach into the void and you pull forth this certain amount of cold energy, and you feel it freezing over onto your armor and bolstering your form. Shathas, you're up. James, you're on deck.
I'm also going to cast Magic Stone from the stones that are on the desk.
Yep.
I'm presuming that I can't use detect magic.
The
Magic Stone is a cantrip.
Magic Stone's a cantrip. Is it bonus action?
Yes.
Yeah. So detect magic would be detect magic, and it's an action. It's on there, isn't it? So you could cast that as a spell.
Yeah, so I'll do that then.
Okay. So, if you go ahead and mark off one of your spell slots. So, as you rapidly cast this, you notice that there is a strong core of enchanting magic coming from within each of these 3 constructs. You can also sense that there is a strong magical presence coming from the passageway that just opened up to the side in the bookshelf.
So I'll relay that back to the group.
Cool.
So, do we need to attack these, or can we just run through the shelf past the group?
Well, should we split up and see what's where?
You'd have to make that decision on your turn, Bagerac.
Okay.
Because we're in initiative order, so everything's moving quite quickly. Anything else from yourself, Shathas?
I'm going to move to stand next to Lours and have my Steel Defender with him.
Yep. Okay, so James, you're up. Natasha, you're on deck.
give me the height of the room?
Room probably about 15 foot tall.
So standard room. Not
Yeah.
somewhere I'd be able to fly, is what I'm getting at.
Not easily, no.
I will draw my short swords and ready in action so that if one of them moves in what I perceive to be a threatening way, I can launch and attack.
Cool. That's fine, so you've got an
I'll
attack.
leave it there for now.
Readied. Just make a note of that. Okay. So, draw your short swords and you sort of crouch down, getting ready to spring into action. Natasha, what are you up to?
I'll get into a safe position. Nobody's actually cast anything on these.
No one's cast
robots
anything
yet, have they?
directly on these things yet, no.
Okay, no. I'll be guarded. I don't have a shield or anything, so I can't really put that up.
I'm just gonna ask a quick question then.
Yep.
Go on.
As we're at this fancy party, have we all bought all of our weapons?
Yeah, so it's the same principle as you had before with the auto tailor. Your equipment is essentially disguised underneath your party clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good for now then, thank you.
Yep, so you're just holding fire?
Yeah, I'm holding fire.
Okay. So, up next, the mechanical unit with the wrench, as it's taken a few steps away from its pedestal, you see the green illumination behind its chest kind of sort of flicker and falter and disappear as it kind of collapses forward onto the floor with a very loud metallic clattering noise. The heavy duty one sort of kind of notices towards it, looks back over towards you, and continues advancing. So it's now about halfway across the room to you. Next up, we've got Magemak. Bagerac, you're on deck. Magemak, what are you doing?
Where is everyone? Like, are they in front of me, or sort of like next to me in the room, or?
So everyone's kind of crowded around this desk at the moment. You've got this burly servitor making its way across the room towards you.
Is anyone in a cone in front of me?
No, I'd say not.
I moved towards the hammer one.
Say again, sorry?
I moved towards the hammer guy, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Just to the side, I believe.
You're in a position, certainly, Magemak, where you could take a step forward and cast a cone-type attack.
Without it hitting anyone?
Without it hitting a friendly target, yes.
Cool, then I want to do Burning Hands. I want to take
Cool.
a step forward and do Burning Hands and just set fire to everything.
Oh dear God.
It's another pal!
It's the pal.
Okay, so everything in the 15-foot cone must make a dex saving throw. So, first of all, we have got our chunky boy. Let's see what he gets. Wow, he rolled really well, but I haven't got his stat block up at the moment, so we'll find out how that did in a second. As for the dude with the hammer, he also rolled really well. I'm so sorry. So, the large guy, what's your spell save DC?
Now you're asking.
What is it they've got to beat?
What am
Onto spells on D&D
It's
Beyond.
13.
13. So, yeah, even with their, albeit somewhat clunky movement, they still manage to kind of stop short and recoil just a little bit, so they don't take the full brunt of what's going on. So, can you roll me 3d6 damage, please?
It says 4 on D&D Beyond.
Yep. So roll 4. Sorry, I'm looking at the base spell details.
If you do cast Burning Hands, it should tell you to.
The god of hellfire, and I bring you.
Well done, man.
Jesus.
12. That was abysmal.
12. So each one of them takes 6 damage.
Okay.
You got 2 1s there.
Yes, I'm aware of this. Going to get out.
Yeah.
What's average though?
Okay.
Party nat 1.
Anything else from yourself?
Nope, because I moved, didn't I? So
That's fine. So Bagerac, you're up.
I'm gonna go with. I tried to shoulder or shield bash the one that's moved forwards back.
Okay, so you're going for the big one or the one with the hammer?
No, the one that's moved, the big one's moved towards us.
Okay, so you're just going to try and bash it with your shield.
Push it back, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. If you can just make me a strength check, please.
16.
Okay. Oh, one second, that's fine. So strength tested by this creature's strength. Yeah. So as you run forward, you raise your shield and just barrel into this thing. It kind of takes an unsteady step back, and you can hear like the internal gears sort of whirring and clunking. It kind of falls slowly backwards and crashes onto the floor. And again, you see like the green light inside of it sort of sputter and go out. So, anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Cool. So, next up we have got the dude with the hammer who is advancing forward. He is going to take a swing at you, Bagerac. So, what's your armor class?
18.
So yeah, this thing's clearly showing its age because it just goes to sort of reach out and swipe at you with the hammer, but it's just kind of jerky, slow motions. You just kind of take a bit of a step back and it just misses.
Yeah.
This thing is old AF. Faye, you are up next, followed by Lours. So Faye, what are you doing?
So I've literally just come
You've
in
literally
the
just
room,
arrived
I'm
into the
guessing.
room. You've found like this giant mechanical construct collapsed on the floor in a series of broken parts. Another one's sort of fallen away from you in a series of broken parts, and you've got one sort of like quite arthritically trying to swipe a hammer at Bagerac.
How big are they? Are they sort of
The one that's
human
left is about
size?
human size.
Okay. I'm gonna drink one of my mutations.
Yep.
Mutagens. Celerity.
Yep.
Which increases my dex score by 3.
Yep.
And then I'm probably going to end up not doing anything that's dexterous, but it's cool. And then I'm going to launch a crossbow at the thing.
Cool. So if you can roll to hit, please.
20. Not nat
Nice.
20, but
That's fine. Still hits. Roll me some damage, please.
6.
6.
Mhm.
The crossbow bolt comes in from behind and it just goes straight through and it pierces this sort of core material. And you just hear this sort of shattering of glass, and there's like green electrical sparks coming off of its chest as the light inside just sputters and fails. And this thing just kind of stops moving and slumps a little bit and just deactivates.
Jeez.
These were old.
Seems like
So-
they were not what they were cranked up to be.
Oh. You know what?
I
Sorry.
was gearing up for a fight.
If you give me one more and it's good, I'll give you inspiration. If it's bad, you'll take a d4 of damage.
Do it.
And I might backhand you, and I do 5 bludgeoning damage.
I was ready to give them a taste of my Asian mechanics.
That was awful.
That was such a reach. I'm not even going to penalise you for that, but I'm certainly not going to reward it. Right, we're out of initiative now.
Jesus.
Okay.
And I think with that we're going to take a break as well, just
We
to
are now
recover
all
from the
emotionally drained.
awful,
Understandable.
emotionally draining puns. So yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Go do what you need to, and I'll see you in a sec.
Go and recover from those bad jokes.
Yeah. And we're back. Okay,
Hello.
so you're still in Dominic's office. You've got the remains of 3 very old and very decrepit constructs in the office with you. You've got the secret passage opened up by the bookcase. What do you want to do?
Can I salvage the remains of my smith tools?
Yeah, just make me a it's called a dex sleight of hand check for salvaging bits and pieces.
Okay, you might need to walk me through that one.
So roll a d20 and then add on your sleight of hand modifier.
Ooh.
So
I
on
got
your D&D
12.
Beyond, so you rolled a 12. Did you roll a 12 or is it total 12?
I rolled a 9 and then
You got +3.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you managed to salvage a just a handful of mechanical bits and pieces from there. Nothing impressive, but certainly spare parts that you could put towards some future projects.
Cool.
Cool. So, what is everyone else up to?
I'm going to walk very slowly towards the.
I'm going to shove the door open.
passageway.
To the
Can
secret
I
passage.
can I send Atticus into the hallway?
Yeah. So, as you are you doing the telepathic link to it?
Yeah, I might as well because
Okay. So
obviously it's just us in the office, isn't it? So
yes, yeah. So Lours, as you approach the secret door by the bookshelf, you notice it's a narrow passage with a spiral staircase winding down towards the winding down. Oh, hang on, sorry, I'm just getting reports that can't hear us on stream. Anyone's watching the stream, can you just confirm that we've got audio?
All right, test it.
I can't hear anything on it. Oh,
Testing
I
one.
can
two,
hear
three.
you now.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
We're
no,
back.
no, yeah, I can hear audio now.
We all go with?
Yeah, I can hear.
There we go. Cool. Okay, so yeah, so as you're approaching the passageway, you can see it's the spiral staircase that's winding down into the ground. Magemak, as you connect to Atticus and sort of follow the passageway down and down, you start to get that sensation of like a lost connection. You can see that it's clearly going down, and by your estimation, it's definitely going below the sort of the ground floor of the building. But due to the sheer volume of building material you're trying to work against, you are starting to lose the signal.
All right, so I recall a pseudo dragon back to Dimension, just relay the information over, just let everyone know that it's just at the moment it just does go underground, and then looks just something we just go down at the moment.
Okay. So, are you guys heading down through the passage?
Hell yeah.
I'm going to sit on my shield and ride it like a toboggan.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
With
So-
my angry eyes.
Be a stealth check.
So, normally it would be the stealth check, but the tobogganing shield makes quite a loud noise, which
You
would
sure?
mitigate any stealth checks that the rest of you are trying to make.
Oh, good. Thanks, Budget.
Oh, God.
You're welcome.
You might as well just shout Leroy Jenkins and just
Leroy!
down.
It's a full badger.
So Bagerac, as the first one out at the bottom, you can see that it's a large, sort of like workshop area that you come out into, and the rest of you arrive a few moments later and see the same thing. In the immediate vicinity next to where you are, there is a map of Waterdeep with numerous locations marked with pins. and each of the pins got a red cord running back to the location of Rosewood Manor. There's another table that is covered in various notes and what look like skin samples, and a tank full of like an amber liquid with a very pale looking human forearm floating in it. At the back of the room is this large crystal set into a brass holder, and it is projecting this crackling emerald beam of energy right the way up into the ceiling. And as you look up, you realise that this is what's giving the green lantern at the top of the building its appearance. You can see that this channel goes right the way up through this tower up to the point at the top of the building. Standing next to the crystal, apparently somehow missing Bagerac's shield sled, is Dominic, just sort of muttering to himself, and there's a Unity construct standing next to him.
Shall I pretend to be the guard and like introduce you as if I've brought you here to talk to him?
You can certainly try. Make me a deception check, please.
Okay.
Does the green colour look like the same green that's in the chests of the various automatons?
Perception check, please.
I got 17.
17. So how are you introducing the group?
Sir, these people said that they had an appointment to talk to you about the constructs, so I've brought them to you.
Okay. Lours, what did you get on your perception check?
15.
15, yeah. From the looks of it, there's the same colour of energy that you've seen in the chest of the constructs, both downstairs and in the office. Faye, as you make your introduction, Dominic turns and looks at you. What he's presented with is the form of one of his burlier male guards in a fine evening dress.
No, I took the clothes.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
So burly guard, dressed as he would expect, and just says, "I'm sorry, but this area is off limits to party guests. I'm afraid you'll have to be shown the way out."
Ah, but these are no party guests. These are your special guests. Did I not tell you about these earlier? You'll want to talk to these guys.
This is a restricted area of the premises, and he's starting to make a move towards you, and kind of looking over the guests, just trying to suss out what's going on here. I can understand if you've had a bit to drink and perhaps have convinced a member of my staff that we had an appointment, but I can guarantee you I did not make any appointments this evening specifically because of the gala event. You're going to have to leave now.
Now listen here, Mr. Rosebush, or whatever your name is.
It's Rosewood.
Yes, certainly. We are here to speak about a massive order for your Unity bots.
You're interested in the Unity project?
Certainly.
Perhaps I'll give you a demonstration. He grabs the green amulet around his neck and turns the Unity unit on next to the green crystal. Unity! And it sort of flares to life and starts to stand up straight, and the green light illuminates through its body. Unity. Combat protocol. Engage.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to need you all to roll for initiative again, please.
Hey.
Let's fucking go!
Oh, that's not bad.
20.
Nice.
20.
Got 15.
I attacked again.
14, baby.
20.
14's rubbish.
Okay, so go through the list then. So Badger, what did you guess?
20.
Sounds so sad.
Sounds upset.
20.
Because my side is
There's a fridge behind you.
Faye, what did you get?
15. Even
Cool.
when I get a good roll, I still manage to come last.
James, what did you get?
7.
Hey.
Excellent. Lours?
17.
Boo.
Right, again.
Hey,
There
is
we
your
go.
dice mat literally the top of like a tin?
It's actually meant for candles.
Magemak, what did you get?
12.
Excellent. Relaxio?
14.
Shathas?
4.
To be fair, my dice tray was the first one I built, so it's a bit shit, but it's beautiful.
Nice.
And finally, Natasha?
20.
Tidy.
Bang tidy.
So, just make sure we got everyone. Boom. Excellent. So, first up then, we've got Natasha and Bagerac, you're on deck. So, Natasha.
I
What do you do?
cast heat metal on this piece of robotic junk.
Oh, he's
Okay.
been waiting for this all day.
Okay. If you can roll me 2d8 fire damage, please.
Yeah, 5.
Excellent, thank you.
Oh wait, can I? One's a nat 1, so can I re-roll that?
Not on damage.
Okay, cool.
So your halfling luck only applies to attack rolls and ability checks.
Gotchas. That's fine.
Okay, so how are you casting this?
Fuego!
Do you want me to play the Hellfire song again?
So no, it's
Fuego
fine.
is more than enough.
It's fine. So you pull out the octopipes and just blare a sound on them,
Yeah,
and the entirety
high-pitched enough.
of the Unity robot just starts to glow bright red, and you can see steam escaping from some of its joints. Anything else from
he's
yourself?
Made it more deadly.
No, I think I'm in like somewhat of I'm in concentration now.
Okay, cool. So, Bagerac, you're up.
I will go into a rage for
Yep.
the fact he's tried to attack us. And then I will try lobbing a javelin straight at this dude wearing an amulet. Like, towards the amulet.
Sorry. Has the bot made a Constitution saving throw?
Oh, sorry, no, it's supposed to, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, it can't drop itself, so even if it passed the Constitution throw, it wouldn't make a difference.
I know, it would still have to have disadvantage. I just wanted to see how futile it would be.
What's the
Nothing's
Constitution
coming
check?
for you.
What's it got to beat?
14.
It passes.
Fuck. But it doesn't matter. It has disadvantage.
Okay, so, yeah, Bagerac, you are raging, and you're throwing a javelin.
Yeah, towards the amulet the guy's wearing.
Okay, cool. If you can roll to hit, please.
Very specific
That's
for
gonna
a
be
javelin.
pretty precise, to be honest.
Well, it's more the fact that the guy's just grabbed an amulet and then the bot's attacking us.
I feel like we might need the amulet as proof, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I did. I was 7 to hit, so I miss anyway.
Yeah, so they
And
managed to
that
just
one.
sort of.
Lovely nat one again.
Oh, Badge, move your mic away a little bit.
So as you chuck the
Mad loud.
javelin, Dominic just sort of sees you telegraphing the attack and just kind of steps to the side, and javelin just narrowly misses him on the side there. Okay, so next up, so the Unity model immediately starts sort of whirring, and you can hear like the sort of hissing noise coming from it, and you can see that the parts of the metal that had heated up and start to crack just start to reform back together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it starts to step down from this crystal pedestal towards Dominic. Next up, then we have got Lours.
Oh.
And Faye, you're on deck. So, Lours, what are you up to?
I will wild shape into direwolf.
Yep.
And I will, if I can get in range of him, I would like to try and attack Dominic and just try and attack him and pin him using the usual prone thing with the direwolf, see if I can get the amulet off him.
Yep, so are you actually looking to make an attack on him, or are you...
I'd like to try and get the amulet. The amulet is my goal, so however I go about doing that.
So you're just looking to really grapple him at this stage, or just knock him over?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Try and rip and bite the amulet off him.
Yeah, that was, try and get it with my jaws, if that is a thing. I don't know how to do that.
Bite his head off.
I'm dead!
The amulet will just fall off his body then if you bite his head off.
If you can make me a strength check just to knock him down, please. So it's going to be strength, athletics for a direwolf.
It has neither of those, so just strength. Which is 8.
8. So again, you dive, but Dominic sort of ducks around out the way, scrambling to get towards the Unity construct.
That's it then.
Cool. Okay, so next up we've got Faye. Relaxio, you're on deck. So Faye, what are we up to?
Bellara stood pretty close to him. Dominic, that is. So
Yep.
I'm going to sort of like, with my 2 sickles, sort of go down onto like one knee and cross them over like that.
Okay, so for the first one then, if you can make me an attack roll, please.
10.
10 misses.
No.
Can you roll me to hit with the second one, please?
8.
8 also misses. This guy is slippery. He is like scrambling at this point and moving so erratically you can't really predict properly where he's moving to. So next up then we've got Relaxio. Magemak, you're on deck.
Just to point out, I've still got the armor of Agathis on.
You have still got armor of Agathis active, yeah.
So I'm going to go for construct. Move into melee, and I'm going to attack with my fang.
Yep. Okay, so if you can roll me to
17 to hit.
So you're attacking the construct. Sorry, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And 17 hits.
Yeah. So it's done 6 magical slashing damage.
Okay. As you... where are we? Yep, that's fine. So 6 magical slashing damage. Thank you. So where are we? 6. Fantastic. Anything else from yourself?
I'm going to go for a dagger.
Yep.
Which rolls a 21 hit, which
Yep.
also does 6 magical damage.
Okay, thank you. So after you've gone through with the sickle, you bring in the dagger for a second attack against this construct and manage to drive the dagger right up to your wrist. You've gone wrist deep on this thing.
Certainly out.
Sorry, how much damage was that? 5?
6 and 6.
6 and 6. Thank you. Okay. So next up we've got Magemak. James, you're on deck. Magemak, what are you up to?
I am gonna raise my staff and get like the cobra thing to look, the Mishulk to look him in the face. The construct.
Yep.
And I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Oh damn! Roll me to hit, please. Roll me that spell attack.
13 hit.
13 misses. So as your Eldritch Blast gets cast out from the snake's head, the Unity construct takes another step forward and just buckles slightly with the attack from Relaxio, causing it to basically just duck under your Eldritch Blast as it runs past. Anything else from yourself?
Just chilling, mate.
Cool, that's fine. So, James, you are up, and Shathas, you're on deck.
Trying to visualise where we are. Is there a chance that I can fight over the construct and go straight for Dominic?
So Dominic's in front of the construct relative to you guys at the moment. So if you were to picture it, you've come out this secret passage, you're kind of in a rough group at one end of the room. Dominic is just in front of you, scrambling to get back towards the Unity construct, and the Unity construct is behind him, next to the pedestal with the green, the crystal firing the green energy upwards.
I would like to go and grab him, try and drag him back, preferably in the air.
Okay.
What would you like me to do?
If you can make me this is going to be a grapple attack, and because no one can remember how grapple works, I'm going to use Averibot to remind me what you need to do. So, you need to, it's a special melee attack, and you seize the target by making your choice of a strength, you seize the target by making a strength athletics check contested by the target's either strength or dexterity. So, if you can just make me a strength athletics check, please.
Oh dear.
9. Again, this guy is scrabbling fast and moving like a goddamn rat. So you you swoop down and try to grab him, but he just manages to get away from your claws, talons, however it is you're trying to pick this guy up. He just manages to slip past you. Right.
To use my movement then to fly up.
Okay.
Out of the way.
So you're now airborne. Okay. So it's now Dominic's turn. Shathas, you're on deck. So Dominic is not pleased with these people that have just broken into his workshop and tried to beat the shit out of him. He is going to hoon it behind the Unity construct and grab his amulet, which starts glowing brighter and brighter with green energy. Shathas, you're up. Natasha, you're on deck.
Can I tinker a bomb together with the fire-imbued magic stone in the middle of it with the scraps I got from the last room?
Ooh, okay. Interesting choice.
Why do I feel this is really gonna fuck us up?
I'm gonna say it's gonna take at least a couple of turns to make the fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Just we're in a tiny room and she wants to blow us up.
Hey, it's not the worst idea I've heard playing D&D. Right, so if you had magic stones in the previous room, the magic would have expired on those now. So you could use a bonus action to cast magic stone, and then you could use your action to sort of fabricate a projectile for them. Basically, take 3 pebbles and then stuff them into like a quick build casing on that. But that would be your turn. Would be basically crafting this like magic stone cluster bomb.
Do it, Jen.
Yeah, I'm going to imbue the magic stones. I can imbue them with anything of my choice, right?
So you just imbue them with magic, and it's magic generic, and it means that when you hit a target with the magic stone, they take bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Okay. The crystal that's next to the construct, we can attack that, yeah?
You can certainly try.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bonus action the magic stones.
Yep.
And I am going to put them in my sling and attack crystal.
Okay. So if you can make me a spell attack roll, please. So it's a d20 plus your spell to hit modifier, please.
Spell to hit. What's that?
So on your character sheet, if you go to spells, it'll list your spell hit, spell
that's
DC.
So 19.
19 hits, and you're hitting it with the magic stone. So if you roll me a d6, add your spellcasting ability modifier, which I believe for you is intelligence.
2, 4.
4 total.
It's 4 plus 2.
4 plus 2, so 6 total, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Where are we? So what that does. So yeah, so you scoop up a couple of loose bits of masonry from the floor and start charging them up, and they glow with magical energy. You load one of them into your sling and just hoof it straight at this crystal. As it hits, you see the magic energy discharge from the stone on the crystal and cracks it. Crystal's still there, still projecting this energy field, but it is now damaged.
So on the
Anything
floor,
else?
did you say?
It's basically it's on a like brass pedestal, so it's probably about, I don't know, 3 foot off the floor.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to move so that I'm out of the way of everybody else.
Cool.
There's nobody in between me and the crystal.
That's fine. So you've just taken up like a flanking position. So as you move round to the side, you move off, and your mechanical bear trots along beside you. Very proud of its little pink and mauve bow tie. Seems quite chuffed with that. So next up, we've got Natasha. Bagerac, you're on deck. Natasha, what are we up to? You've still got heat metal going on the Unity construct.
I have, and it would cost me another action to keep that going, right?
So you could, yeah, so it cost you a bonus action to trigger the damage on it again.
Just wondering if it's worth trying something.
Do it.
Okay. All right. I am going to break concentration and instead cast Natasha's Hideous Laughter upon Dominic.
Natasha's Hideous Laughter on Dominic. Brilliant.
Everyone prepare.
Okay, so Natasha's Hideous Laughter. So
Wisdom saving
Dominic
throw.
has to make a wisdom saving throw. Let's see.
A 14.
Hang on, let me mentally prepare for this.
So,
preparing for this.
what are you saying?
What, my joke?
Yeah.
Why did no one in the king's court laugh when the king farted? Because noble gases don't cause a reaction.
So,
That's worthy of inspiration.
first of all,
That was brilliant.
inspiration for a science joke that I like.
The man knows the audience.
What is your spell save DC?
14.
He passes.
Fuck!
But yes, I will certainly give you inspiration for that because that was genuinely inspired.
Thank you.
Okay.
Worked so
Anything?
hard on that one.
I'm feeling the effort. Anything else?
No.
Dare I ask?
No.
Cool.
I'm chilling.
So, Bagerac, you're up. You are still raging. What would you like to do?
Well, now I'm really
Lours,
annoyed
you're
that
on
I
deck.
missed with my javelin, so I'm going to run forward, attack with my Morningstar recklessly at Dominic.
Dominic.
Oh, no.
Hey. So, just reminds me how reckless works.
I get advantage on my attack roll against him, but they also get advantage against me until my next turn.
Okay. So, if you can attack with advantage, please, against Dominic, whilst you're raging.
21 to hit.
21. God damn.
Yes.
And then it's it'll be 9 damage plus raging, so that's 2. So 11 damage, and it's silvered piercing.
11 damage to Dominic. 11 piercing damage to Dominic. Okay. Wow.
Click that much. Stay to another screen, so don't worry.
Yeah, so as you just roar crazy and just start swinging away with this Morningstar, Dominic just even with his impressive speed manages to just avoid almost none of it. Yeah, he is now looking pretty beat up. And just check for. Yeah, he lets go of the amulet and it stops glowing. Okay. As you run past the construct to take a swipe at him, the construct spins around. Literally, the top half of it just rotates to face you, and a massive metallic fist just comes shooting out directly in your, straight at you. What's your armor class? Sorry.
18.
It hits.
Whoa.
And you take. So it's 13 points of bludgeoning damage, half, so you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Better you than me, mate. Better you than me. Ah.
Okay. So it is now Unity's turn to play. Lours, you're up next. And it is not impressed that you have tried to go after its creator. So again, it's going to bring the fists down on you. The first attack misses.
Wait, can I also use am I able to? Is this thing able to be charmed?
You wouldn't know until your turn. What are you thinking of trying?
Oh, I was going to be using cutting words.
Does cutting words apply to just you or to?
As a reaction, when a creature that's not immune to being charmed, you can see within 60 feet, makes an attack roll, ability check, or damage roll. You can expend one use of Bardic Inspiration, roll the die, and subtract the number from the creature's roll.
You certainly can. You know what?
Cool.
Right. I'm going to say save it because this was a nat 20.
All right.
So it wouldn't have had an effect anyway.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. I'll save it, but yeah.
So Bagerac, you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as the second fist really connects home on that.
So is that halved?
That's already halved. It hit you for 22 points of bludgeoning
No,
damage,
that's
but
fine,
half
that's
because
it.
you're
You were
raging.
critted, mate.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, so Lours, you're up next.
Okay.
Faye, you're on deck.
If I'm not already in range of Unity, I will get in range, melee range of Unity.
Yeah.
And also I'll try and get within 5 feet of Bagerac if I am not already.
So
Well,
considering
you
the
have to
fact
be,
that
'cause he's
Unity
punched
is
me in
just
the face, this thing.
yeah, Unity's just hit him with the side of a truck. So yes, he's within 5 feet.
Cool. I will attack Unity.
Yep.
And I apparently get advantage because I have an ally within 5 feet.
You do, yes. Yep. So roll with advantage, please.
That is a. It's a 21 to hit.
21 hits. Roll me some damage.
Which is 2d6. 8 total.
8.
And it needs to make a strength saving throw of DC 13 or be knocked prone, apparently.
Okay. So, sorry, what was the damage again? I'm trying to do.
8 total.
Okay, so
Rubbish rolls.
8 total, and it needs to make a strength save or be knocked prone.
Yeah. If it, it's if it's a creature. I don't know what this thing catch. Sorry, I should have clarified that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Doesn't matter though. You just kind of ping off.
Okay.
It rolled a 22.
Damn.
The strength check. So yeah, you jump up and you bite down. You manage to get a good chunk out of it, but it just kind of takes the hit, as if it just tanks it.
All right. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. So, next up we've got Faye. Relaxio, you're on deck. What is your move, please, Faye?
So, how far away are things from me now, or
so you've tried
does
to take
anyone move?
So you've tried to take a swipe at Dominic.
Yeah,
he's now dived
Dominic.
behind. He's now dived behind Unity. So you're probably about 10 feet away from Unity.
How tall is Unity?
Unity is probably about 7 or 8 foot tall.
Probably not tall enough for me to pass under its legs. Then I'd imagine, really.
You could do, yes. Yeah, it's effectively a size larger than you.
I want to go for. I'm just trying to think of ways of using my newfound extra point of dex. So I would like to do a slide tackle through Unity's legs and try and hit Dominic with my sickles again.
Okay, yeah. So roll me an attack, please.
Oh my god. Forget it. 7.
So yeah, 7 misses. Are you attacking with both?
Yeah. 19.
19. Sorry, what were you attacking, Unity or Dominic?
Dominic.
19.
I'm doing a slide tackle through Unity's legs.
Yep. So yeah, that definitely hits. Roll me some damage, please.
Woohoo. D4. I'll just do it on D4. Whoever gets there first. Six.
Okay, so as you slide in, the first attack just chips straight into the stone next to him. The second one connects and jabs right through his thigh, and he just screams in absolute agony on this. Seeing that you're attacking his master, Unity runs and turns around again with the weird rotating hips and just tries to punch you.
Oh, no.
Thingy.
Yep. Go for
Cutting
it.
words.
Go for cutting words.
Go for cutting words.
Go for cutting words.
So I roll 1d6 and take that number away from your attack roll.
Yep.
Cool. 4.
Please make him say words.
4.
Oi! Look at me! You gangly robotic fuck!
Faye,
Away from her, you
Faye,
bitch!
what's your armor class?
It is 14.
Unfortunately, it still hits.
Ah!
So even he rolled really high. I'm sorry. Even with Natasha's priceless cutting words, it still just kind of doesn't take it into account, and the fist comes down on Faye. Faye, you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. I'm sorry, he is rolling crazy high. Okay. So, next up, we've got Relaxio. Magemak's on deck. Now, Relaxio, Armor of Agathis is still active on you, so what do you want to do?
Well, I'm going in for Unity.
Yep.
And I'm going to do my normal wham bam combo. So I'll start off with Fang.
Yep.
And that's a 24 to hit. Mother flicker.
24 hits. Roll me some damage, please.
It's 6 magical slashing again.
Okay, so you're hitting Unity for 6 damage.
I am.
Cool, so as you take the slash into the armor plate, you've got some like exposed mechanism under there, and you can see that it's clearly injured now. We're going with the second attack from the dagger.
Of course.
Cool. Roll me some damage for that, please.
Oh, it's a roll to 10 hit.
So yeah, you kind of get overconfident and just kind of misstep as you try to bring the dagger in, and it just doesn't connect on that. Okay. Magemak's up next. Am I right in thinking that Relaxio is taking control of Magemak's turns?
Currently, but I don't know how I'm going to roll him.
It's fine. Just use the roll commands for the Avray bot, and then add his stats in.
I'm going to go for... I'll make this easy. I'm going to go for a Frostbite.
Okay, yep.
So he's got to do to Unity, and he's got to do a Constitution 13 save.
Okay, so let's have a look. Passes.
Oh, balls.
So it takes 1d6 cold damage. Sorry, no.
It doesn't.
No, it just straight up fails. Okay, so anything else from Magemak?
He's just going to move away.
Okay, yep, that's fine. Struth, there we go. Okay, so James, you're up, and Shathas is on deck after Dominic.
Has Dominic still got that?
Dominic's still got the amulet. It's no longer glowing, and he is looking pretty beat up.
I'll just try and straight up attack him then. See how that goes for me.
That's fine. Roll me an attack roll, please. What are you attacking with? Sorry, I should have specified.
Short sword.
Okay, yep.
Right, under dumbass. Uh, 25 to hit.
That definitely hits. Roll me some damage, please.
9.
9 damage. So as you bring the short sword down in a stabbing motion at Dominic. It finds its mark, and Dominic screams in agony and just passes out cold.
As a bonus action, I'm hoping this is a bonus action. Doesn't say actually because it's just under other. Interact with an object. Once
That would
per
be
turn.
considered an action.
Oh,
So
it
as
is
you've
actions
taken
in
the
combat.
attack, as you take an
Bollocks.
attack action, that's your action for the turn expended.
Cool. I'm going to try and grab the gem, but obviously that'll be my movement.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in combat. You're basically foot to foot with Dominic anyway. So if you wanted to try and take the gem, you can do so on your next turn.
Or Faye will probably be able to grab it.
Well, we've seen how she does with crime. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Yeah. So Dominic is unconscious. Yep, still unconscious. So next up, we've got Shathas and the Mecha Bear. Natasha, you're on deck.
Is there anybody within 5 foot of the crystal?
Yes, you've got Bagerac and you've got three of your teammates there. 4 potentially. Yeah, I think you've got Bagerac, Faye, Lours in his direwolf form, and Relaxio.
That's the crystal that's powering the thing.
The crystal is just firing an energy beam upwards. You don't know what it's doing.
Okay. That out the window then.
Sorry, I found surprise munchies.
I think I will attack with my crossbow with the crystal.
Okay, yep. So if you can roll me an attack roll with your crossbow, please. So d20 plus whatever the to hit modifier is listed on your crossbow.
Can't find it. Oh, is that 10?
10 total. Unfortunately, a crossbow shot just pings off one of the brass struts holding the crystal up.
Okay. As my bonus action, I will command my Steel Defender
Yep.
to attack the Unity.
Okay, brilliant. So if you can make me an attack roll for your Steel Defender, please. So if you go into the extras tab on D&D Beyond, that will list what its attacks are. I think it's got something like a rush, biting
Yeah,
thing.
it's force of power rend.
That's it, yep. So it should give a plus to hit notation on that.
Yep.
So roll d20, add that on.
Natural 20 plus 4.
Ooh, tidy. So automatic hit. So the way that nat 20s work is when you roll for damage, roll the dice, double it, and then add on the modifier. So it should say damage is something d something plus something.
Yeah, 1d8 plus 2.
Okay, so roll a d8, double it, and then add 2.
The d8, God, sorry.
d8 is the kind of diamond-shaped one.
Oh, yeah, got it. So that's 3, double it is 6, add 2 is 8.
Cool. So Unity takes 8 points of damage. So the Mecha Bear just charges in and just sinks its teeth into Unity's shin and just rips out a chunk of metal from the construct. Okay. Next up, we have got Natasha.
I like pretty things, so I'm going to steal that amulet.
Okay, so you're going to move in and try and move in and take the amulet from.
Yeah.
Okay. Sleight of hand check, please.
Sure thing, boss. Uh, 11. Do I have an advantage because he's like passed out?
I'd say yes, yeah.
Cool.
Do I see him?
Cool. Nat 20.
Nat 20. Yeah, no one notices that you dive in and, under the guise of trying to do something, manage to whip away the amulet from around his neck. So
I've got the amulet.
You're now
And
holding
then
the amulet.
As my bonus action, I'll cast Healing Words on Faye.
Brian commands the thing to stop attacking us.
I mean, I don't know how it works, so...
Hold it and go, knock it off, dickhead.
Or I can take my turn. And I cast Healing Word on Faye.
Cool. So how much are you healing for on Faye?
Let's find out. 8.
You maxed out.
Cool.
Sick.
So, next up we have got Bagerac. Lours, you're on deck. So, Bagerac, what are you doing?
Is this fucking thing still alive?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to attack. Wait, he punched me, so I'm annoyed with it, so I'm going to attack recklessly at it with my Morning Star.
Excellent. Roll me to hit, please, with advantage, because you are reckless.
22 to hit.
22 hits. Roll me some damage, please.
I'd be 8 with rage.
8 total. Cool. So as you swing around with the Morning Star, its silvered edge just catches some of the green light coming from the crystal and just tears a nice big gash across the chest plate on Unity. Anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Okay. So next up, it's Unity's turn, and you can see all of the sort of like tendons and joints on it just flex slightly, and where there's been bits of it ripped away, they start to stitch themselves back together. It is then going to take a swing at Bagerac.
I'm going to use my Steel Defender's reaction, deflect attack.
Cool. So just read that out for me, please.
The defender imposes a disadvantage on the attack roll of one creature it can see within 5 feet of it, provided the attack rolls against the creature other than the defender.
Cool. So as the fist on Unity starts to come down towards Bagerac, Mecha Bear decides to jump up and just knocks the forearm wide of the attack. The second arm, on the other hand, that hits Bagerac. You take... It has a 14, so 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, we've got Lours. Sexy wolf Lours. I'm not a furry. Followed by Faye. Lours, what are you doing?
Same thing again. Just going to try and attack it.
Cool. You get advantage for your pack tactics, so if you can roll a attack roll with advantage, please.
15.
15 misses. So as you jump, it's
Well,
just
shit.
immediately off the back of it, bringing that second fist down towards Bagerac, and you just go diving over its shoulder.
Well, that's my turn.
Duly noted. So, Faye, you're up. Relaxio, you're on deck.
I am going to shoot it with my crossbow.
Cool. Now you are in melee combat with it, so if you try and make a range attack, it will be with disadvantage.
Well, shall I go with sickles then instead then?
You certainly can. Your options
Okay.
are either to move back, use a crossbow, or
as I'm here. I thought it might have moved away from me a bit, but yeah, that's fine. As I'm here, I'll go with sickles then.
cool. So if you can roll me the first attack, please.
So 21.
21 hits. Roll some damage.
7.
7 damage. Okay, so you swing it round and just tear out a chunk of the armour. And your second one?
18.
18 hits. Roll me some damage.
7 again.
Another 7. So the second attack takes advantage of the bit you've already exposed and just starts... At this point, you are just carving bits out of this thing. Okay, so... Next up, we've got Relaxio. Armor of Agathis is still in effect. Magemak is on deck. Relaxio, what are you up to?
Isn't it obvious? Boom, fang attack. 20 to hit.
20 hits, roll me some damage.
6 magical damage.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
I know, man, I'm rolling well. This is the Unity, just in case you were unsure.
Okay, that's fine.
And this is my music.
Okay,
this is my jam.
Sorry, so you bring the Fangamashork into action, and sorry, how much damage did that do to Unity?
It was 6, Tom, sorry.
6 damage to Unity. So yeah, as it slices through the air, you can see it's the venom dripping from the sickle just punches into the metal, scores a great big line across one of its armor plates. Would I be correct in assuming perhaps a secondary dagger attack is to follow?
It's almost like you know me.
Oh, roll
Here
me
we
to
go.
hit, please.
And
God,
it's
I remember when this show. I remember when this show was surprising. Now it's
Jesus
just way too
Christ,
predictable.
23.
23 to hit,
6 damage.
and it's another 6 magical damage, my friend.
23, is that a crit?
No, it's, I
Oh.
got a +5, mate, on those 2.
That is
weapons.
still impressive. But yes, 23 definitely hits, and how much damage?
6 magical again.
Another 6. So again, you bring the dagger in, and this one really fucking connects. As you jam the dagger straight into the wound you just opened up on the armor plating, and feel it just grinding
Shoots out the
into
hand.
some of the internal mechanics there. Okay, so next up we've got Magemak. James, you're on deck. What is Magemak up to?
Magemak is going to go for a Eldritch Blast on this one.
Yep.
So it's a make a range spell attack. Range spell.
Yep.
Nurse.
So D20 plus Magemak's.
Plus 5.
Yep.
Okay, so roll D1, D20. So that would be a 13 plus, so it's an 18, Tom.
18 hits. Roll me some damage from the Eldritch Blast.
So roll 1d10. And he hits him for 9 damage.
9 damage. What's his charisma modifier as well? Because I know Magemak gets to add his charisma as bonus damage.
His charisma is a +3.
So it's 11, sorry,
Oof.
12 damage total. Cool. So fire off the Eldritch Blast and just BAM! Blasts off a chunk of the shoulder armor on there. Cool. So, James, you're up. Shathas, you're on deck. James, what are you doing?
I will attack with my short sword.
Cool. Roll to hit, please.
I have rolled 11, which is not promising.
Fortunately, that does miss. What with it being
I
shit.
will. Yes, I will attack again.
Going in with the second
with
short
my
sword.
Other short sword. And I hit for 18.
18 hits. Roll me some damage, please.
Does 4 piercing damage. I also have colossal Slayer,
Colossus Slayer,
for
yep.
my so because it's presumably less than its normal.
It is definitely injured, yes.
Yep. Then I do 1d8 additional damage to it,
Cool.
which is 1.
Okay, so 5 points of damage is still 5 points of damage.
Well, it's
Well, that says
11
you've done-
points of damage.
Yeah, he's got 4 piercing, 6 damage.
It's you don't get to
I-
add your modifier for the second attack.
Do because I have dual wielding.
No, you've got 2 weapon fighting, so you can make 2 attacks with light weapons, but you don't add your modifier to the second attack for damage. You still get your
Right.
Colossus Slayer, but you don't get the additional bonus from Strength or Dexterity, whichever one it is that plays in on that.
Hang on. When you engage in 2-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack.
Oh, sorry, have you got that as a... Oh, sorry, yes, because
It's a
you've got the
fighter,
fighting style. Sorry, I'm thinking of 2-weapon fighting. So, yes, that's an additional... So, what was the modifier?
So,
So, what was the damage on the short sword? D6 plus what?
4.
4, thank you. Okay, so
Then
yeah,
there's
so you
extra
bring that
1
short sword in
damage.
and just stab the crap into the chest plate on Unity. It just leaves a nice, decent gouge just above the left robot nip. Okay, so Shathas, you and Mecha Bear are up. Natasha, you're on deck. Shathas, what are you doing?
I am going to move in, and is there any one of my comrades that are looking particularly dog-eared at the moment?
I don't know. Anyone feeling particularly beaten up?
Phase on
I'm on
14.
I'd suggest
I'm
Badger's
unfortunately not
knackered.
too bad. Yeah.
No, Badrac's
I'm
been
15.
taking a fair amount of punishment.
I'm going to move next to Bagerac and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. So
Oh, my luck.
basically, run up, touch him, and heal him for 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So 1d8 plus your intelligence.
It's 8 plus 2.
Okay.
Hang on a sec. Yeah, just 8 plus 2 on the healing.
Okay, so Badger, you take 10 points of healing.
Excellent.
10 points of negative damage.
Of my bonus, I'm going to attack with the Steel Defender again.
Cool. So we're going for the bear
Also
down
powered
on.
rend.
Yep.
Roll 20 to hit. That's 16 to hit.
16 misses, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll use the rest of my movement to move clear.
Cool. It's fine. Okay. Next up, then, we've got Natasha.
Cool.
Bagerac, you're on deck. Natasha, what are you doing?
What to do indeed.
So you've managed to swipe the amulet from Dominic. You've still got that in one hand.
I'm going to get away first off.
Yep.
Because I'm right in the middle of the action again. I don't like being there. I don't like being touched. So I'm outie.
Yep.
And then I cast Heat Metal.
Cool.
God damn that.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Okay. So
6.
6 fire damage.
6 fire damage.
Cool. So again, as you cast it, all of the metal plates on Unity start to heat up and glow bright orange through red. And you can see the steam again escaping from the various cuts and wounds it's got over its shape. Anything else from yourself?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Badrak, you're up.
I would like to move away from said construct slightly.
Yep.
So I can get a better view of the crystal.
Yep.
And I'm going to lob a javelin at it.
Okay. Make me an attack roll, please.
That's just a thing.
I'm just lob this javelin at.
I'm just lob this at it. It's alright.
Oh, fuck me, it's an 8 to hit.
Are you still reckless?
Well, yeah, because
You are still raging, but are you
Yes.
reckless attacking?
Yes, I actually attacked everything, so I'm annoyed.
Okay. So was that
Right.
was that an 8 or 7 to hit with reckless?
No. Well,
Okay.
Let me roll it.
Yep.
It's 15 to hit with reckless.
Which hits? Roll me some damage, please.
That'll be 6. Oh, 6. 8, because I'm raging.
Okay. So as you yeet this javelin at the crystal, it sails quite cleanly through the air. And where Shathos's magic stone had punched a chunk out of it, it just buries itself into the crystal, and the entire surface just goes and starts spider webbing. It's still just about intact, but now it's got a javelin sticking out of it.
All I'm saying is, this stupid thing keeps healing itself. It's got to get energy from somewhere.
Okay.
I thought it was coming from what's his name, Dominic.
He's unconscious.
So Unity's up now. Lours, you're on deck. Where the plates on it started to heat up, again you see it do this flex maneuver, and the open wounds start stitching themselves back together. And it's going to take a swing, first of all, at Relaxio. Relaxio, what's your armor class, please?
It is now 16.
Fortunately, that still hits. You take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as one of these steam-powered fists just comes BAM down on top of you.
So, Armor of Agathis inflicts 10 damage, cold damage back to it.
Yep.
And then I'm also going to do a reaction
Yep.
spell, which is Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh. Tasty.
I love that spell.
Is that a cast spell, is it? I cast.
Yep, so it'll be... Yep.
Rebuke. Boom. So, just in case you know what it does, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw, which is a dexterity of 13. It then takes 2d10 fire damage on a fail, or half damage on a success.
Okay.
Some big balls.
It passed, but roll me your
So-
2d10 for damage, please.
I rolled 25, so you need to take half.
Ooh. Ooh, that's tasty.
So basically, it took 22 damage for hitting me. Screw you.
Right, so you roll. So you rolled 25 damage, yeah.
I dropped. Yeah, so it's 25 plus then obviously the 10 from Armor of Agnes.
Okay, so right, just on Hellish Rebuke, you rolled 25.
25, my friend. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So it takes 12 points of damage from that because it passed the save.
Yes.
That's a hell of a lot of it.
Imagine if it had passed.
Oh,
He literally didn't even do anything, it just hit him. that was beautiful. Damn, man.
Sneaky, sneaky.
So
Small
as
damage
it
that
brings
I've done this
the
time.
fist down onto you, you turn around and just point up at it and go. Basically, you give it like the Fonz maneuver whilst it's punching you in the face, and these flames just shoot out and just blast up at its faceplate and start ripping parts of it away. And this thing is now starting to leak coolant. It is looking pretty badly beat up. Its second attack goes against Lours in dog mode.
I'm going to use my reaction to that for the Steel Defender.
Yep, that's fine.
Select attack.
Yep, misses. Just straight up misses as it goes. It's already blinded by the fact that it's just had fire damage to its face, but as it brings its second fist down towards Lours' direwolf form, Sexy Mecha Bear leaps up and again batters it in the forearm and just sends the attack going wide. So, next up we have got Lours. You're up.
Okay.
Faye is on deck. What do you want to do?
I've not had very much luck with hitting this thing, so I'm going to run and try and just bite or otherwise move the crystal off of its pedestal. I'm just going to attack the crystal, see what the hell it does.
Okay. Roll to hit for the crystal, please.
Would I? Am I still within 5 feet of someone, or
Yes,
is
you
it
are.
far enough away?
Still advantage because you've got buddies nearby. And friendship is advantage.
That is a 26 to hit.
That hits. Roll me some damage, please.
It's 13.
13. So as you jump in and you sink your fangs into the crystal, you hit literally all of the weak points on your bite marker. This thing just shatters apart. Make me a dex saving throw.
Okay. 1 sec.
Just beat a 10.
14.
14, yeah. So you manage to bite in and leap back in time just as this crystal shatters apart. The javelin goes whizzing past your head and fortunately doesn't take out one of your eyes. And as it does, you see this energy beam just sort of stutter and stop. And as it does, Unity just shuts down and goes completely limp.
back up.
We are now
He just wanders over and gets it.
out of initiative. Unity has no
Just
fight left in it.
Me just wander along.
Can
me
I-
wander along to get my jab. This is mine.
Can I go in very quickly, healing word Dominic, unless he's... Or could I check he's alive, and then if he is alive, heal him?
Yeah, make me a medicine check, please.
16.
Yeah, so he is alive, but he is unconscious. He's lost a lot of blood.
Drop a... Oh no, I got cure. I'll do a cure wounds on him at level 1.
Cool.
I'll do a level 1 healing word on him as well.
So he gets 6 from my one.
While this is going on,
Yes,
can I
sorry.
scoop some of these gem fragments up?
So you're going to scoop up some of the crystal fragments. As you try to pick up the crystal fragments, they're literally each one of them is just like, as you pick them up, is just shattering into like grains of sand.
Fuck's sake.
They're not staying whole. It appears to be that whatever was holding it as a crystal form is just completely gone now.
I finished with this earlier, my bad.
Was that sorry, Shay?
Can I pill for the Unity for parts?
You can certainly try. Sleight of hand check, please.
So, all I was thinking is we need evidence, and other than the
21.
amulet,
21. Okay, yeah. You managed to gather up some pretty decent quality parts, including an intact power core.
I have missed that. You cut out.
Sorry. You managed to scoop up some pretty decent parts, including an intact power core.
Ooh.
No idea what that does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It sounds good.
It sounds amazing.
I was just trying to get evidence for that Lord dude.
Yeah, we need.
Amulet.
He's right. We do need something.
We've got that folder,
There's the amulet that Natasha picked up as well.
but you don't know I've got the amulet.
I see everything. My dog is perceptive.
No one
But you
has, because of how high he rolled on the stealth roll, no one noticed that Natasha swiped the amulet.
Can I now go and look for where I think the amulet is?
Yeah,
How high
certainly. You
did
can
you roll
make it.
yourself?
Just nat
Sorry?
20.
Nat 20 with
20. Ah.
yeah. With a +5. I rolled 25.
Jesus Christ.
So you've still got.
Ridiculous, man.
So
Yeah.
in the room, you've still got the map of Waterdeep. You've still got the table with the skin samples and floating arm. You've still got the a now unconscious but not dying Dominic.
We've got a lot of evidence in this room, guys.
Can I like take
If
the
we
map
can-
and roll it up to take it?
If we can
yeah.
tie this to
Yeah, you can quite easily manage to. So whereas most people would like just roll the map up into a tube and then carry it with them, they tend to do it by detaching it from whatever it's on first. You just basically grab the map board and crunch it up into a roll.
Yep.
Just rolls the
Yeah, you just
wall.
roll the map board up into a really chunky.
So I just take this, guys.
collection.
It was just some evidence.
Yep.
Can I replicate a bag of holding?
Yes, if you got it on your one of your infusion replications.
Yes, replicate my bag of holding.
Okay. So
Put
yeah.
a wall in there.
So basically, you've now got enough room in your backpack to fit in pretty much anything.
I'll give her the crumpled map.
Cool. So that Mary Poppins its way into Shaythas's backpack.
Anything else we want to take with us?
I would take his arm too.
Faye,
Hmm.
make me a perception check, please.
Didn't get to make one dex check as tool as well. What's my modifier? Perception 2, so that'd be 14.
As Bagerac lifts the arm out of the tank, you notice on the inside of the forearm there is a tattoo. It's somewhat beaten up, but it says EX-6.
Just 6.
EX-6. The rest of it appears to be too damaged to read.
Do we all see this?
Faye notices it first of all and goes a little
I
bit.
don't think to my headset. It's just everything's just.
Do I notice now the amulet is not there, or can I continue looking for what I think, where I think the amulet will be?
Considering you tried to heal up, Dominic, you would notice during that process that the amulet was missing.
Okay. Guys, can anyone see the amulet? I feel like this would help a lot. I can't find it. I swear it was round his neck.
What else is on the desk, Tom? Sorry, there was the map, the arm.
So, you've got the map, which has now been fully rolled up and thrown into Shay's backpack. You've got the desk.
The arm, which I've also put in a backpack.
The arm, which is also in the backpack, but is no longer in any kind of preservative fluid. There are some skin samples and some notes on the table, as well as a leather-bound ledger.
Sorry, I missed all of that. I managed to do something to my headset, and just all I had was music.
So, Bagerac has managed to crumple up the map board into Shaythas's backpack.
Yeah.
In addition, he asked what else was in the room. There was the arm, which is picked up out of the preservative tank and thrown into the backpack. There is also a series of notes, some skin samples, and a leather-bound ledger.
Is there any sort of explanation of what they're doing here with this arm and stuff?
Make me an investigation check.
Can I pick the ledger up and hand it to Lours and say, read this?
Yeah.
I try to read it.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. Going over the notes, you find that they make reference to a lot of it is high science stuff that you don't really get the full workings of. You pick up a couple of bits of notation in the margins, though, that catch your attention. The word changeling, the word shapeshift, and one sentence that reads, further research with live subjects required.
Oof.
Bagerac, you've passed the ledger over to Natasha, correct?
Lours.
Oh, you passed it over to Lours, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So Lours, what you find is a ledger, and on the front it says Project Unity. And as you go through, you can see that it is an increasing series of phased indications of operations to take place. Phase 1 is listed as Unity models designed to be installed in key locations, businesses and organisations. Phase 2 reads, replace existing outdated models with Unity upgrades. Phase 3 reads, once critical saturation of the city has been reached, activate regime change protocol. Phase 4 says seize power and establish Rosewood City as a sovereign state. Phase 5 says increased production of military units.
Is the crystal called Vicky?
The crystal is
Is
not
Dominic
called
still
Vicky.
alive? Or
Yes.
where's Dominic right now?
Dominic
He's
is
alive.
unconscious.
Conscious.
He's still unconscious.
Yeah, we healed him up a treat though.
Can I walk over to him and slap him and try and wake him up?
Yep, unarmed strike
Mm-hmm.
with
Oh
advantage.
God. I'm glad you did it, not me.
You smash his head into the floor.
There would be
You
no
go to-
face. there
You
would
go
be
to
no
slap
face
him to
left.
wake him up and break his neck.
18.
Roll for damage.
It's just 4 bludgeoning.
Just 4 bludgeoning damage. So yeah, you slap him across the face, and you really fucking connect with this, and he's like stumbles to consciousness, going, "Huh, what happened?"
I'm gonna grab him by like the scruff of his like jacket or whatever he's wearing, and put one of my sickles to his throat,
Huh?
and ask him what's going on here. Like, what is he in charge, and what's that hand doing in that jar?
Can I wave the arm at him? What's this?
I go and try and keep the blade away
I
from
can,
his neck.
yeah.
Okay. Lours, can you just contest a strength check against Faye, please?
Okay. Oh, natural 1.
I got 19.
Faye drives the
So
blade
she
a little bit
slap you as
deeper, and
well.
you see just like she drives the blade a little bit deeper than she probably intended, but there's now a bead of blood running down.
Stop, we need him alive.
I need
I
to
don't-
know what his involvement is with this arm.
Can I backhand Laws with the arm and say shut up?
Unarmed strike.
Jesus.
What do you mean?
What
It's
is-
a full arm.
what
That's
is
a
this
full
arm?
Strike.
Why is the
Oh, the
arm
Magerak
significant?
attack.
26 to hit!
Jeez, Martin,
Nat
come
20.
on! You die instantly.
Bagerac.
First crit I've taken as well.
Healing him.
Jesus Christ, man.
Bagerac, what is your strength
Speed I
modifier?
have?
My strength modifier is +4. My bludgeoning damage is 5 normally.
Laws, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Can I intercept that with the dog?
You can certainly try. No, if it's a nat 20, it auto hits.
Nat 20 with my modifier of
God's
+6.
Ah,
Look at that.
Jesus, man.
You just wail on him with a severed arm and just knock him on his ass.
Can I use this kerfuffle to? Can I use this kerfuffle to like skulk out of there? Like just dip, sneak
While
back.
this is going on,
Got a
can I have
party
a
to
look
go
around the
to.
room?
Say again, sorry, Shay?
While this is going on, can I have a look around the room?
Yep, so, Natasha, you try sneaking off. As soon as you try to sneak away, Mecha Bear turns around and starts, like, growling at you, detecting that you are trying to be stealthy.
Okay.
Shay, as you're looking around the room, there's pretty much nothing else here. Just the room remains the crystal, the table with the skin samples and the notes, and the place where the map used to be. Faye, coming back to you.
Mm-hmm.
You have successfully, I feel, intimidated Dominic Rosewood.
As he watches us bitch slap our own party with the severed arm.
He just looks and goes, it was just research. They asked me to do it.
Who? Who asked you?
Exposition.
Oh God, he's rolling.
He looks down to where you're holding him by the throat and looks you in the eye and says, "You know exactly who." And then passes out.
Do I? Have I meant to? Oh, he's passed out. Oh, what a dick. Do we really need him alive? Can I kill him?
Do you want me to slap him back with the arm a bit? It's better
You
than
certainly
my
try,
actual
but this
weapons,
guy's passed out twice within about 5 minutes. I think it'd be dangerous to continue slapping him. But it's your game. Slap away if you
I'm not
want.
gonna. I'll put the arm away in the bag, I think.
Cool.
I think it's time to take all of this and get our ill-gotten gains.
Lours, you seem to want to keep him alive. I need a good reason to do that, otherwise I will kill him. Even though he's unconscious.
Just to clarify, do I know what this arm is? Do I understand that this is the Changeling arm? Because at the moment I've just seen an arm and Faye. Sorry, I see Faye run to try and kill him, but unless I would know why, because I don't know why she's doing it at the moment.
Nature wisdom check.
Sorry, what was that?
Nature wisdom check.
Okay. That is a 11.
Okay. You definitely recognise that the arm isn't human, and you recognise that the skin tone is very close to Faye's natural skin tone, and you, from that, guess that this is a changeling arm.
Oh.
I mean, you've had a pretty good look at it. I did hit you with it.
You did get a very close
It's still
look at this arm.
imprinted on my face.
That's what gave you the insight.
I see he's wronged you, or he's wronged whoever this is, but surely he should stand trial for these crimes.
Surely
will
we
he
should
though?
discuss this in a safe place. I'll take the arm and everything else, and we'll go back somewhere.
Should we just take him with us?
Hell yeah.
Really fit
Nah,
the bag.
I'm sticking to character. I'm killing him.
I will try. Can I try and stop her? With,
I mean, the
with my
sickle's nailed
supreme
around his
failure
neck.
on the last one.
Neck already.
Faye, dexterity attack with your sickle with advantage. Laws, strength athletics check to restrain her.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Oh god, that was 16. Oh, I felt it was a good roll. Well,
You
My
dive
first
in
one
to
was
grab.
a 5.
As you dive in to grab Faye's arm, she just pulls back with the sickle and literally just rips this guy's throat out. And he bleeds out in the floor of the workshop under his house.
I blink several times in the corner. Go, that's some shit.
I
I'm
look
gonna-
up,
I'm
I
gonna
look
stand
up
up and walk out of the
furiously
room
at
and leave.
Faye.
That's
And I'm
some
just gonna
shit.
leave the room.
Cool.
Can I walk over and just loot his
Done.
pockets?
Yeah, sure. Going through his pockets, you find nothing but a really blood-soaked corpse.
Huh.
Oh well. Just shake the blood off my hand.
Starting
and
to
carry on.
agree with chat now. Are we the bad guys here?
What you did find, Bagerac,
that
what
what
you
they're
do
saying?
find is on his corpse is the bottle of boat hooch that fell out of Laws's pocket.
Oh, I'll just pocket that.
Yes. What the?
Well, in fact, no. Celebratory drink. I drink it and throw the bottle across the room.
Fair enough.
Wonderful.
So, having
So we make it
obtained the information as requested by Chief Auditor Welby, along with potentially some facts that you didn't necessarily want to know, you extricate yourselves from the party, which is in itself in a mild state of panic. There appears to have been an alarm sounded. The guard have started to arrive. People are being evacuated and put into carriages and sent on their way. You find your carriages and take them back to the Sword and Board to collect your fee. You hand over the ledger and the amulets to Welby. What he plans, what he and the Board of Associated Businesses intend to do with the information, you can't be sure. But for now, you've done your job, you got paid, and you got out alive. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for playing. That's where we're going to end the session tonight.
So we didn't give him the arm, so we've still got an arm in the bag of holding.
You presented the arm. I don't want to deal with that later down the line.
What are you on about? I did that to slap Laurs.
I can't
don't
think
want
any-
to-
I
We're
can't
not
think
having you
any
throw
more.
I
an arm at
really
someone.
don't want to have
We're
to
not
consider
having you
what
throw an arm at
happens.
someone.
I really don't want to have to consider what happens to that arm. So yes, you hand the arm over because it got wound up with the mats.
Oh,
Gets a
But-
little
but-
bit squishy.
Wait. I still have the amulet.
The amulet's been handed over.
Oh, come on!
Oh, I was going to put that arm into,
I'm going
a
to stop you
certain
there.
swearing symbol and use it as a javelin at someone.
Love of God, don't
I
do that.
I don't need to know what your plans for the arm were. That's fine.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's fine,
folks,
But
thank you all for playing. I'm going to shut down the stream now, so everyone say goodbye to chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Thanks, chat. See you later.
Ready.
Bye.
Ta-ra.